And welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
Back-to-back best sports talk hosts as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Van Studios. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You are listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. We have so much to get into. Now, I don't know if this is my fault. I don't know if this is Rob's fault. Maybe this is your fault. No one wants to come on the show today. We don't have any guests. Not a one. Rob couldn't even book Steven Spector for a draft. Hey, I got meetings today. No one wants to come on the show today. We might, possibly, perhaps take phone calls. I can't tell you when we would take phone calls. I'm simply telling you that we might take phone calls. We got a lot to get into in today's show. Rob is very, very upset that Davante Adams suggests that LeBron would be a good football player. Like, I haven't seen him this energized for a topic in about 2 months or so. Carrington, did you see this? What did I need to see? I thought something serious had happened. I thought that another Oklahoma City Thunder player had gotten generational wealth. He's like, no. Did you see what Davante Adams says? No. You can always assume the answer to that for me is going to be no. I'm not keeping up with the words of Davante Adams. We'll get to that. We got a lot of stuff to get into. We'll have some fun along the way. 913-586-7965. I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. And I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. It'd be great if you could tell 2 people to check out the show. But you know what? If you could just tell one person to check out the show, you know what? I would greatly appreciate that. All right, so this is where I would like to begin today's show because you guys say that I'm hard on the Royals and I'm a hater. And I always say that a hater is somebody who is incapable of giving credit where credit is due. Jack Caglione yesterday really brought the juice.
1-1 pitch. Caglione hits a drive out into the gap in right center field. That's in the alley and gone. Caglione's first home run at Kauffman Stadium. Kind of a sinking line drive. And it went out of the shadows around home plate and over the wall and brightly lit by the sun right center field. So now Caglione has homered at Kauffman Stadium, and he has a total of 3 home runs and puts the Royals up 1-0 here in the second inning.
No doubt Jack Caglione could feel like he could fly right now.
I'm so happy that Jack Caglione got this monkey off his back. I mean, this is a guy that was brought up here to hit for big-time power. He hit 2 home runs in a road game against the Texas Rangers, and for the most part, he hasn't come close to hitting a home run at Kauffman Stadium. He's hit the ball hard a few times, but hasn't necessarily had that home run power he did yesterday. He was a major contributor on why the Royals lost yesterday. Rob and I were getting ready for the show, and he asked me if I thought this was just a one-off or this was the sign of something more to come. I don't know if we can answer that definitively yet. I am intrigued. I will say this. Yesterday was Jack Caglione's best day at Kauffman Stadium, and it's not close. Even when it was Jack Caglione Day, I mean, everybody was there. Reggie Jackson was there. George Brett was there. The owner was there. Patrick Mahomes, his wife. I mean, the whole city came out for that one. Jack didn't play poorly in that one, but he also didn't play well. Yesterday was big for him. To hit a home run in the fashion in which he did, to contribute to a win, to see this team clinch a winning series yesterday against the Pittsburgh Pirates was a really, really good sign for Jack Caglione. You got to build it one day at a time. It sounds cliche, but how you turn this thing around if you're the Royals, how you get going if you're Jack Caglione, you got to string some good days together. This organization went on the road and beat the Seattle Mariners in a series. Now you come home, you at least at a minimum take 2 or 3 against the Pirates. You put yourself in a position to potentially sweep the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is where you want to be. Rob, I know that you and I, for the most part, kind of stand in lockstep about this team's big picture hopes for the rest of this year and about this team's playoff positioning, but none of that matters at this point. I thought Vern made a good point. They are not making a trade for Seth Lugo on July 9th. Maybe they do on July 29th, but that's 3 weeks from now. All you need to do is focus on where you are right now and winning series. And you got a chance, if you're the Royals, to sweep this series at home against the Pittsburgh Pirates, one of the bottom 5 teams in baseball. You got a very good Mets team coming in, a team that's going to make the postseason in the National League. If you can find a way to win that series and you're 2 games under 500 heading into the All-Star break, you get a couple of days to exhale. You come back on the other side, and maybe you continue to stay hot and go on a little bit of a run. I still think the Royals are ultimately going to make a trade here or two, but I don't think there's any reason to make that determination now. Just keep trying to stack good days, keep trying to stack series wins on top of one another and see what happens.
I mean, I don't know they have a chance to win the city back. I worry, and I know the text line yesterday was saying we were hard on the Royals. I worry as we inch closer and closer to the Chiefs reporting to St. Joe, as they remain under 500, you might feel the city tune out. But that's not the Royals' responsibility. Their responsibility is to be competitive and be a good baseball team. And beating the Pirates is step one. You've won the series. You now won back-to-back series. You have a chance to sweep the Pirates, and if you win a series against the Mets, there's going to be good vibes going into the All-Star break, and coming out of the All-Star break, you got the Marlins who stink. And if you think, hey, you're over 500, it's July 21st or whatever, and the Chiefs reporting to camp, there might be a reason to dream a dream a little bit. I would still sell Seth Lugo in that world, but you as a Royals fan, if you are still the eternal optimist, this team is giving you a reason to be optimistic. They are playing better baseball. I know it's schedule driven, but better baseball is all you ask for. One of the reasons that June was so frustrating is teams like the Pirates, the A's, for example, came into town and beat you up. There's no reason that should have been happening. The Royals are getting back to what they should be doing. Keep losing teams losing and, see what you can do when you have to punch above your weight class. Good crowd last night. I feel like there's still an energy in town for this team, and they're doing what's asked of them. Get back into the hunt. Let's see where they are by the All-Star break. Let's see where they are by the time the Braves roll into town. It's the 28th, and that's the week of the deadline. Just see where you're at. I know it kind of fell on deaf ears. J.J. Piccolo spoke to the media a few days ago and said, we just kind of want to see where we're at with this point of the season. Royals fans kind of feel like they want more than that, but it is starting to feel like they're starting to stack some good stuff together.
Yeah, absolutely. And, a lot of it you mentioned is just going to be schedule-driven, and it's just taking care of the games that you need to take care of. You went on the road. You beat Arizona. You've won these first 2 games against Pittsburgh. Let's see if you can get the sweep. Let's see how you handle it against the Mets. You have a good pitching situation. You have Michael Wacha going on Friday night, Michael Lorenzen going on Saturday, and then you got Noah Cameron coming up on Sunday. So, from a pitching standpoint, we know that this team is going to be competitive. Have to assume that the Royals are going to be pretty big favorites coming up later today with Bubic on the hill. With that pitcher going up against that offense, would have to assume that the Royals are pretty decent favorites today. They sit at 45 and 48. Again, if you can just handle these next couple of days, maybe you go on a little bit of a winning streak here. You can get back to 500, maybe 1 game under 500 as we head into the All-Star break. And I think you have to feel good about that if you're the Royals. If you take a look to the second half, and I don't want to look too far ahead, you got Miami coming up right after that. You then go on the road and play the Cubs. Miami, that's a team that you should be able to take care of business on. We could be talking about this team potentially being above 500 the next time they come back home toward the end of the month on July 25th. We're going to bounce around a lot today. We appreciate you guys listening. Listen to The Drive here on 96.5 The Fan. Coming up on the other side, they are potentially looking to expand the NCAA tournament. We'll talk about it next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Say hello to Wendy's new 2-for-4 Biggie Bundle. Choose from the JBC made with fresh, never frozen beef, crispy chicken sandwich, 6-piece nugs, or small soft drink. Any two for just $4. It's like the reunion special you've been waiting for, but the only drama is watching you try to pick just two. For a deal as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's. Request 2 for $4 Biggie Bundles to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
Summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Heartland Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Ring the bell! We've done it again! Golden Oak Lending has lowered rates to 4.875 fixed. Lower your monthly payment, get cash out, pay off credit cards, and best of all, make no mortgage payments for 2 months. Lock in this incredible 4.875 rate and get your cash in as little as 14 days. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
5.81 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
If Old Spice Deep Sea Super Hydration Body Wash were music, what would it sound like? Start with the deep sounds of Old Spice's ocean waves and kelp. Layer on the smooth, renewing moisture. You wouldn't hear any parabens or phthalates because Old Spice Deep Sea hasn't got any. But you would hear that vitamin B3 for healthier looking skin. So while your regular body wash sounds like this, Old Spice sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
The Black Friday and July event from Dell Technologies is here with great offers on trusted technology. You'll also discover huge deals on new AI-ready laptops like the Dell 14 Plus featuring Intel Core Ultra processors starting at $699.99. Save on top accessories, plus enjoy fast, free shipping and other benefits. Upgrade today by visiting Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Place an order online today at metalsupermarkets.com.
DQ presents How to Make Your Summer Take Flight. Just head into DQ for our new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat. Treat your inner hero to an epic mix of sugar cookie dough, sprinkles, and cake batter flavor. Blend it all with legendary DQ soft serve, and it's enough to tempt Superman himself. Fly into DQ for our new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat before it's gone. And don't miss Superman, only in theaters July 11th. DQ, happy tastes good. Only at participating locations.
You know how you always want to know about everyone else's money? On the podcast What We Spend, guests will, for 1 week, tell us everything they spend their money on.
My son slammed $6 worth of blueberries in 5 minutes.
And everything that makes them feel.
I want to own a house. I want to have a child. But this morning, I really wanted a coffee.
Because at the end of the day, money is always about more than your balance. Listen to and follow What We Spend, an Odyssey original podcast. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
Allow me to be the old man that stands on the cloud or stands on the soapbox and screams at the cloud for just a bit. In a column for Pat Forty for Sports Illustrated, in the upcoming days, the NCAA is expected to expand the NCAA tournament. They are looking to expand it from 68 teams, where it currently sits, to 72 or 76 teams in the NCAA tournament. I am not for this at all. This is my frustration, and this is what makes me want to stand on the soapbox and scream at the clouds. I don't think the people that govern and run college athletics know why we like college athletics. I would say, number one, what I think people like most about college is the community of it all. Think about the old school Big East, how you had all of those schools in a very close proximity to one another and how intense the rivalry between those schools would be. You were fighting for the same players, or you were fighting for your bit of territory. The DC kids wanted to show that they were better than the New York kids, wanted to show that they were better than the Philadelphia kids. You had all of these schools very closely tied together in their own part of the country, and you wanted to see if your area, your city, your neighborhood was the best. Think about the old Big 8, Big 12 days. It felt like a community. All of those schools, for the most part, are within driving distance of one another. Whether it's Columbia and Kansas and Manhattan and Ames, all of these schools are within a 4-hour span of one another. So every year when you guys make that short drive to come together to a city like Kansas City, it's a really big deal. We see how Iowa State comes down and takes over the city and the back and forth with KU. It's fun. That's what makes college sports so fun and so unique. It's that rivalry. It's that competition. Well, at least in the regular season, they've killed it for the most part. We went a decade missing games between Missouri and Kansas, a decade of missing games between Texas A&M and Texas, a decade of missing games between Nebraska and Oklahoma, those games that mattered, that made college football the sport that it is today, what made college basketball such an intriguing regular season sport. I think that the college voices have this thing all wrong. We don't need any help to make the postseason more interesting. It's automatically going to be interesting. You're competing for a championship. You don't have to put more sauce on that. Hey, whoever wins this tournament is the champion. We deem them as the best. That has its own intrigue attached to it. But what we always needed more juice was for the regular season. Well, the regular season used to have juice because it wasn't just winning a conference, it was bragging rights of all of the people around you. Like, part of being a KU fan is all of the success, but it's also that you get to claim you're superior to everybody around you, to K-State, to Missouri, to Iowa State. That's part of what makes being a Kansas fan fun. They've taken some of that away. You know what really upsets me about this expansion of the NCAA tournament? They're not doing it for the little guy. I know they're going to spin it like now there's more opportunities for Drake or Missouri State and those kinds of programs to make the NCAA tournament. We all know that's not what it is. The same way that I told you that the college football playoff was just them repackaging and repurposing the bowls, that kids told you we don't want to play in these bowls, but they figured out a way to get those kids to play by just calling it the playoff. This is what they're doing with the NCAA tournament. It is obvious to spot. They have expanded these conferences and these leagues too much. And now you have 18 teams in these leagues. Everybody can't play each other in basketball the way that they used to. And some schools' schedule is unbalanced. Now, we got to be fair to the 13th or 14th best team that's in this conference. We've done everything to get them to come here. So how do we do it? Well, I mean, you can have a losing record in your conference, but you can still make the NCAA tournament. That's what they're doing this for. They are expanding the tournament to make sure that the 15th best team in the SEC and the 13th best team in the Big Ten are okay. They're not doing this to get more teams from the Sun Belt. They're not doing this to get more schools for the MAC. No, they're doing this to get more schools for the SEC, more schools for the Big Ten, more average schools that weren't good enough in the preseason, that weren't good enough in the non-con, that weren't good enough in the regular season, couldn't win their conference tournament, we got to still give them an opportunity to make the NCAA tournament. You weren't good enough. I really hate this. Ultimately, it probably won't matter, right? I mean, they expanded from 64 to 68, and we still watch the NCAA tournament. It still has our interest, but I guess I'm just tired. I'm tired of everything that they do that makes the sport worse that we enjoy. They made more money. How much more money do they need? They have a system in which they don't have to pay the employees, in which somebody else pays them. They got the best system going. There's no better system than they have. They get $1 billion television deal and don't have to share it with the employees at all. And they'll get Amazon to pay them. That's great. How much more money do they need that run college athletics? It's just all a scam and a scheme. I hate this. And I don't know why they spend so much time trying to make something that's already interesting more interesting, at least in their term, instead of trying to make the regular season more interesting. That's the problem. College basketball does not have a tournament problem. It has a regular season basketball problem. You don't care. You tune in late February, early March. When football winds down, it's like, oh, well, there's no baseball on. I guess I'll watch college basketball. You get into it for 3-4 weeks, and then you move on to something else. What about the fan that really cares in December and January? How do we keep those fans engaged when you've given them less interesting regular season games to follow? We've signed up for a system that has Stanford and Duke in the same conference, that has Rutgers and UCLA in the same conference. And what did we do all this for? It used to be cool. The West Coast had their own league. The Midwest had their league. The South had their league. The southeastern part of the country had their league. The Northeast, everybody kind of had their own thing. But no, we had to keep making more money. We had to grab as much of that television money as we possibly could. And we have expanded these leagues. And Rob, now we got 16 teams that are going to make the college football playoff, knowing there's only 4 that can actually win it. They're about to put 76 teams in the NCAA tournament. 2 thumbs down.
We talked about this yesterday. You joked that the greatest swindle in America is the idea that, the average person helps pay taxes for a billionaire stadium. I still think that's number one. But you know what the other way sports and money people have gotten over on the regular fan? The idea that me or you as college athletics fans care about how much money my university has. Because let's be honest, these university presidents and these TV executives, that's what they care about. And they have broken college athletics, and there's been a trickle-down effect. When Missouri and KU stopped playing, KU and Missouri fans should have been mad. They should have been frustrated. They should have been upset. But the conversation shifted. Mizzou fans saying, sucks to suck, you're in a lesser conference. Look how much money we're going to make over here. A&M in Texas, same thing happened. Then we had another shift in college athletics, another wild pivot with another wave of realignment. Same conversation. Oregon fans were making fun of Oregon State. Ha ha, no one cares about you. You're a bum school. You can't make any money now. Sucks to suck. Why are fans having that conversation? Fans should be distraught. Fans should be upset. A rivalry that meant something to my community, my fan base, my team was stolen from me so ESPN and Fox and those sorts of outlets can make more money. But for some reason, the average fan went along with it and said, hey, more money for my school. That's what matters. I don't really care I'm not playing Kansas. I don't really care I'm not playing Missouri. It doesn't bother me I don't face K-State anymore. I make more money. And it's sad. And now it has leached its way from realignment into other parts of college sports. And we all see that's a cash grab. But because 12, 13, 14, however many years ago, fans went along with it with realignment as we chased cash, I feel like the powers that be have disconnected with fans, and they have convinced themselves that fans care more about how much money their athletic program makes, way more so than the actual games on the field. I, as a Kansas fan, don't want to play Arizona State. I don't enjoy playing Arizona State. I feel no connection to playing Arizona State. You know what I enjoy playing? Nebraska. That would be fun for me in football and basketball. But at least I got a BYU matchup to look forward to.
I was watching a TikTok. This was, I don't know, maybe like a week or so ago, and I should have sent you the audio. And I felt very good about it that James Cameron and I had the same approach when it came to movies. Now, I mean, I've made a movie. He's made, maybe a couple movies. You know what I mean? There's a lot of similarities between me and James Cameron. But the point of this is James Cameron said that there should be a tier system at the movie theater, that there is no reason why Avatar 2 should cost the same as some other movies, that there are some movies that, yes, it should be a $20, $30 movie. Going to see Superman should be a premium experience. It's maybe the biggest movie of the year. Going to see Jurassic World, going to see the big Marvel movie. But there's some movies we all know. Well, why is this movie $15 to go see at the theater? No, it's a nice little 90-minute laugh, ha, ha, ha kind of movie. The reason I make this analogy is what works for football and how you can put your football conference together is not how you should put your basketball conference together, not how you should put your college baseball conference together, and all of these other sports. I think we have enough data to suggest, hey, football is its own independent being. I don't really mind Missouri being in the SEC for football. Yes, I don't have those same connections, but you're also in the best football conference in the world. So it's seeing Missouri play an Ole Miss, play a Florida, play a Georgia, play a South Carolina. That's interesting. Well, then they also got to play those teams in basketball. And that ain't as fun watching them play those teams at basketball. If you're an Arizona fan, I don't know how fun it is to watch Arizona play West Virginia or Cincinnati. There's random basketball teams that we just thrown all into the pot kind of together and called it a conference. The best thing for the college basketball regular season, I'm not talking about the tournament. The tournament doesn't need any help. The tournament's great. It's a single elimination tournament that takes place over a month. That's an easy thing to sell to anybody. The best thing for college basketball would be to have it operate independently the same way that we want college football to operate independently. Why can't you have your own separate league when it comes to basketball and football? Like, if you really want to be forward thinking and think about what is in the best interest of it, it is not for Penn State and UCLA to be in the same basketball conference. That might work in football. You go out there once every 4 years. Yeah, it's great. It's a road trip. Your fans want to do it. That's not the way basketball works. On a Wednesday night, when you're trying to convince the fan at USC to come out and watch them play Rutgers in a home game, that's not the way that works. I think the best thing for college basketball, and maybe we'll never see them do this, is to break off and have your own separate basketball leagues. Hey, we have our West Coast Basketball League. We have the Midwest Basketball Conference, the Southeastern Conference Basketball Conference. That would be in the best interest of everybody. I don't think that we'll see it, but then I think you could have these teams in the regular season in basketball better positioned where, you're right, there's no reason, Rob, why Washington and Washington State don't play anymore, or Oregon or Oregon State anymore. You've been playing these games for 100 years, but you felt the nervousness of the conference alignment shifting. So if you're Oregon, you had to go to the Big Ten. You couldn't stay in the Pac-12 anymore. It was no longer viable for you to be there.
I think we see this largely the same way. I think it would work in basketball and football if we got away from the super conferences. I get what you're saying about basketball. You're right. As a Missouri fan, I imagine playing, Alabama is a fun experience and one you really can't replicate in the Big 12 as it's currently set. But I would tell you, if you rewound the clock 20 years ago and I said, Carrington, what team do you really enjoy coming to Columbia for a chance to beat them because they're a big bad you would have told me Oklahoma. You would have told me Nebraska. It's the same sensation. Now, yeah, Alabama and Georgia are better football programs than, Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska were. But it's the same sensation. I think, talk about breaking away. I hope that football breaks away and goes to 8 small 8-team conferences, and then we have a 16-team playoff. And you know what? If that means no more bowl games, no more bowl games. I don't need to see the Insight.com or the Poinsettia. I don't need to see those.
They make way too much money on them bowl games. They ain't get rid of them bowl games.
If we're going to have pie-in-the-sky conversations, let's have pie-in-the-sky conversations.
I'm not mad at that, but you and I both know on a random Tuesday, the most popular thing on television is that random college football bowl game. They ain't getting rid of the Insight Bowl.
And it's always got a corporate sponsorship. The Duke's Mayo Bowl, just, I get the cash grab it is. I don't like it, is my point.
I do like the Pop-Tart Bowl. That is fun.
Well, they at least lean into it as a bit.
For sure.
My point is, if they break away from the NCAA and do their own thing, let's get back to conferences and making regular season games matter for the fans. You mentioned UCLA and Penn State, and that's a fun one-off road trip. Is it, though? Like when the schedule comes out, are UCLA fans going, you know what? I really want to go to Happy Valley this year. I would say they don't, because it ain't cheap to get from Los Angeles to Happy Valley, even for a one-off game.
You're right. That is true. But I do think, I don't think we see this as much just because of where we live. But I would say in the same way that NFL fans, Rob, there's a lot of people really excited to go down to Cowboy Stadium for Thanksgiving. Like, you don't get that opportunity very often. If you're a big college football fan and you're telling me that you're a big Penn State fan and once every 8 years your team's going to play at Oregon, for example, something tells me that, hey, that's the one big trip that you make. I mean, Kansas State is playing a game in Ireland coming up in a couple of months or so. So, yeah, I do think there's those passionate group of fans that this is a once-in-a-lifetime, once-in-every-10-year opportunity. I'm definitely going to make that trip. They're not making that trip for basketball, but we all know just football and what people are willing to do to go to support their favorite football team is usually very different. All right, Rob, you know what I think we're going to need to do? I think we're going to need to compile at some point, maybe in August, all of these opinions from people that have been coming down the line. Whether it's Colin Cowherd picking the Chargers to win the division, whether it's this person saying the Chiefs have fallen off, or that person, or whomever it may be. One day during a Royals Day game, me and you need to sit down and go through the list and find all of these people who have said these things about the Chiefs. Well, the most recent person is Mark Schlereth. I would consider him friend of the show. He's been on the show multiple times. He's on Breakfast Ball with our dear friend Danny Parkins. I'm willing to consider Mark Schlereth to be friend of the show. Well, earlier today on the Breakfast Ball on FS1, be sure to check it out, he said this about the Chiefs.
I will say this, though. I think for the first time, and I'm a Bronco fan. You know,
of course you are.
I have the Denver in my blood. I think for the first time in a long time, I do a radio show in Denver. People feel like there was a time.
Like there's blood in the water?
Yeah, there was a time that Patrick Mahomes was the boogeyman, right? Like,
sure.
There's nothing we can do. But there feels like there's this league-wide sense that this is the first time in Kansas City, in his tenure at Kansas City, that they're vulnerable. Like that somebody else could
that's off
creep
a
up and win this
15-win season.
Right, win this division. And we all picked it, I think, yesterday, right? I think you said the Chargers, I said the Chargers.
That wasn't that they would. It's like who's most likely.
Most likely, but before there was no most likely.
Right.
Kansas City's winning. It's most likely to come in second. Was the conversation we were having.
All right. I think there is a small shred of truth to what he is saying. But I think there's a very important lesson to be learned in all of this. The same way how the Chiefs, they did the same thing that a lot of teams do. The Chiefs didn't do anything special to go get Patrick Mahomes. They liked a quarterback in the draft. They identified who that quarterback was. They moved up and they drafted him. We've seen that happen a million times before. It just worked better for the Chiefs. The Chiefs drafted the right prospect with the right head coach, the right organization. They got all of those things to line up, and look, you created a dynasty. I certainly believe that there are teams out there that feel this way about the Chiefs. Hey, look at what happened at the Super Bowl. They're vulnerable. We can get those guys. If you're a real competitor and you see the Chiefs get drug around the way that they did for 60 minutes down in New Orleans, I think you're kidding yourself if you don't think that other teams feel this way about the Chiefs this offseason. You saw Mahomes bleed for the first time. It was like Rocky IV. He's a man. He bleeds. You saw it. I'm here telling you that you ain't the Eagles. That, yeah, if you're Denver and you think, well, hey, look what Philadelphia did, you ain't Philadelphia. You don't have their quarterback. You don't have their running back. You don't have their offensive line. You don't have their wide receivers. You don't have their defense. You, in fact, don't have any of the ingredients to do what they did to the Chiefs. You don't have any of those. So, yeah, some of those teams are going to feel that way. Hey, we think we can punch Kansas City in the mouth. Okay. You better have a lot more firepower, because what I have seen is maybe the Chiefs didn't get that one team on that one day. They done beat a lot of the rest of you up. A lot of the rest of you up. Hey, maybe Drake couldn't beat Kendrick Lamar in a battle. He will beat a lot of these other people in a battle. That's how it goes sometimes. So I just think that's a very dangerous message to give. Oh, the league doesn't fear. Okay, all right. Hey, if that's how you feel, good. Patrick Mahomes is what, 41-5 in the division? 31 and something? He's only lost 5 times. I know that much. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's been to 5 Super Bowls, won 3 of them, 2 MVPs. If you're telling me the league's not afraid of that guy anymore, okay, I can give you a bunch of reasons why you should still be very, very afraid of the Chiefs and afraid of what they can do. And if Kansas City is going to be healthy this year, knock on wood, you're going to give Mahomes an improved offensive line, a healthier run game. We believe to be a better wide receiver group if guys stay healthy this year. Still a capable defense. You're going to keep giving that guy those weapons, that resources, and that infrastructure around him. Maybe you're not afraid of the Chiefs anymore. That's a team that still wins 11 or 12 games. That's a team that's still in the conversation to win the Super Bowl. That's still a team that you're going to have to beat in January. And there have not been a whole lot of teams over the last half decade that have beaten the Chiefs in January or February.
I agree with you, but I think his point is this, and I think his point's kind of well taken. Maybe not the Broncos, but I'm betting there is a group of teams in the NFL who feel like they were one play away from beating the Chiefs last year, and they didn't make that one play, and then they felt like, oh, you just can't get over this Mahomes hump. And then they saw the Eagles not just beat the Chiefs, humiliate the Chiefs. That was a game where if you weren't in Kansas City, if you were watching the Super Bowl and you were a fan of football in, I don't know, Grand Rapids, you probably turned it off because that football game was over. It was over before your wings got cold. It was dead and gone. And I would imagine the how on a lot of the Chiefs' wins last year, because they were winning by, the skin of their teeth, combined with that game, instilled a level of confidence in, again, not the middle tier of the NFL, but I'm betting if you went and put truth serum in the Bills, they feel more confident this year because, hey, the Eagles did that to them and we were 3 points down. Anyone can do that to them. I bet the Ravens feel the same way. I bet the Lions feel like they this year can do that to them. Pick a team. So I think Mark Schlereth is a bad vessel for this message because he says the Broncos, which are not in that caliber. But I think even people in Kansas City have to be aware that there's probably a level of confidence that exists across the league that didn't exist a couple years ago because of the drubbing they took in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I think that some of this is just kind of par for the course. I mean, you and I kind of said this at the very beginning of it, is you can't get beat the way the Chiefs did and then not think that people are going to come for you after that. I mean, this is just kind of, you didn't lose a 27-24 heartbreaking game. I mean, you weren't in it for the final 45 minutes of the game. It was 41-6 heading into the fourth quarter of the game. So some of this just comes with the, hey, it's a what have you done for me lately kind of league, and you have to constantly be proving it. And if your last game, one of the most watched games in the history of the NFL, is you getting taken out back and shamacked, you got to prove it to people all over again. It sounds weird to say, but I just wouldn't underestimate Kansas City. And some of the comments that I've heard so far this summer just sound like the league is underestimating Kansas City, which doesn't really make any sense to me because that's the same roster that won 15 of 16 regular season games last year. Like, I've just heard so much about regression. Sure, maybe they regress to 12 wins. 12 wins is enough to win the AFC West and possibly be the 1 seed in the AFC. I just heard so much about regression that I think people are forgetting that this is still the 3-time defending AFC championship team, even if they lost in the Super Bowl. Coming up on the other side, this next segment has no other purpose other than for you guys to pat me on the back. I'll explain. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Flooded bathroom? AC on the fritz? When things go wrong, you need reliable service fast. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter and take $50 off any HVAC, plumbing, or electrical repair over $200. The pros at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to fix the problem. Over 40 years experience, more than 8,000 5-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee means you can trust Hamilton to bring comfort and calm back to your home. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Bank of America is a nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in Kansas City. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City, now open. Dine on mouth-watering appetizers, then feast on one of our 6 American Wagyu burgers, including the Bacon Jam Burger and Blazing Burger. Wash it down with your favorite ice-cold beverage, all while watching the game on one of our 45 TVs. Dine in or carry out. Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City always hits the spot. Brew Brothers and Brew Brothers Express are now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-BETS-OFF.
The other place with 5 great Kansas City locations: Shawnee, Olathe, downtown Overland Park, Mission, and Belton. Stop by this summer and enjoy their beautiful patios, all while listening to some live music at most locations Thursday through Saturdays. And on game day, they have enough big screens that you'll never miss a minute of the action, all while enjoying some great food and beer specials. So make the other place your summer headquarters. The other place: Shawnee, Olathe, downtown Overland Park, Mission, and Belton. Check out theotherplace.com.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
This afternoon, expect sunny skies with a high of 92.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
All right, 2 things I like to accomplish in this segment. Thing number 1. This is now number 1 on the list for the most accurate thing that a woman has said about a man. I remember the first most accurate thing I'd ever seen, and Rob, maybe you were this way. I know I'm this way. this woman was describing going over a man's house, and then he said to her, I want to show you something, and it was a YouTube video. And then they spent 30 minutes watching YouTube. And they were saying how one of men's love languages is sending random YouTube videos and TikTok videos to one another. And I was like, how does this person know me so well? Rob, I send you TikTok videos and you don't even use TikTok. I just want you to see it. I don't know how you're going to see it, but maybe one day you'll download TikTok so you understand me just a little bit better. We'll have a better radio show if you download TikTok, but you're not willing to do what it takes. You're out here taking vacation in the middle of the summer, going to the lake. You're not focused. You can't be doing that and not on TikTok too. You got to pick a lane here if you really want to see this show take the next step, and we can hopefully stay employed until the football season. That's number one. Now, this might honestly be the most accurate thing I've ever seen a woman say about a man. This woman, her name is Alex Friedman, and she tweets, men are funny because you can ask one what his best friend does for work, and he'll say, I don't know. Meanwhile, they've known each other for 20 years, and they talk every day. Yes, I have absolutely no clue. Rob, be honest. If I went through your 5 best male friends and I ask you, hey, what's their job description? Where do they work? I don't know if you would go 5 for 5 from the field. You might go like 2 for 5 from the field. You ain't going 5 for 5 from the floor if I ask you what your best friends do for work. That's actually a pretty accurate representation of male conversation. I mean, people that I have been in their weddings. Like, I'm their kid's godfather. Like, these are close family friends. No clue what you do for work. Absolutely no clue. None. This is accurate. I know I'm not the only one. Text line 913-586-7965. You don't know what some of your best friends do for work. You know they got a job. You might even know they got a good job. You might kind of know where they work. You don't know what their title is. You don't know what they do every day. No clue. You have no clue what they do.
I could probably name the company, but if you ask for a job title, I'd be like, I think they're somewhere in this ballpark. Something. I would not get it right. I would not go 5 for 5. There's Instagram Reels or what I watch. It's the same as TikTok, just 10 days later. There's an Instagram Reel where a guy comes back from golfing and he tells his wife, I had a great time. She's like, oh, what's new with your friend Jeff? I don't know. But what'd you guys talk about? I heard his wife's sick. We didn't talk about that. What about that? Didn't talk about that. What did you guys talk about? You hung out for 4 hours. That's men friendships in a nutshell. I could go hang out and get drinks and watch a game with someone, and I can get home and my wife would be like, hey, what is new with Nate? I'd be like, I don't know, but we both thought they should have gone for it on 4th and 1. I have no clue what's going on in your personal life. That's not how men really communicate like that.
Now, this is the thing, though. I think men know what's going on in each other's personal life if something's wrong with the person that they're with.
Or a big event. Huge event.
Like, you know, if he's not getting along with this girl, you absolutely hear about it. Hey, man, Amanda tripping. Yo, bro, what's going on? She's going to tell you this. He's going to tell you this story, and you're going to relate to it. That's 100%. But there's no reason why my best friend should be calling me to tell me how his day is going to work. Bro, I don't care. I love you to death. I also think this is the thing, too, and this is just the difference in men and women communicate. This happens to every single man listening. Your wife will come home and tell you stories about people at work. Like you know these people, and like she's telling you some great, and she really wants you to be invested in the characters. Rob, you won't believe what Cody did earlier today. What did he do? Well, you know Cheyenne from downstairs, like she'll really go into this deep story. You only met one of these people at a company party. You don't really remember them, but it was like a, hey, how's it going? You had like a quick conversation. She will tell you a long, detailed story that's never happened with you to another man. You've never went and been like, hey, Rob, you can't believe what happened today. And then I tell you a long story about random people that I work with. Women do that. Men don't.
I also feel like men, when we hang out with men, don't care about the minutia. I will ask my friend, hey, man, what's new with you? And when he says nothing, we're good.
That's it. That's the end of it. Oh, for sure.
There was nothing he needed to report. There was nothing I needed to hear. If I go to KU basketball games a lot. I share my tickets with a friend. Every once in a while, go get a beer before. Hey, anything new? Nah, I'm good. Anything new with you? Nah.
Yeah, for sure. Status good.
Sometimes status quo is a win.
That's it.
I feel like, and my wife does this. She'll be like, hey, I hung out with my friend. Oh, what's new with her? She has 500 stories. How is that possible? Status quo is status quo. How do you have 500 stories about your day-to-day? Your day-to-day must be an absolute dumpster fire if you have 500 stories.
I'm with you. No, that's 100% accurate. I'm serious. That's 100% accurate. You're confused. Like, genuinely confused. But no, I'm telling you, this is the most accurate tweet that I've ever seen in my entire life. Men are funny because you can ask one what his best friend does for work, and he'll be like, I don't know. Meanwhile, they've known each other for 20 years and talk every day. Like, you have a friend right now that you love. Tomorrow, if your friend was like, hey, I need a kidney, you would give that friend your kidney. Tomorrow, if your friend needed a blood transfusion, you get I'll do anything for you. Hey, where do I work? I don't know. How long have I worked there? No clue. No clue. Not a small clue of where they work. That's really being a man in a nutshell. That was very, very enjoyable tweet. I enjoyed reading that. Rob, let me ask you this. Are you willing to give me some credit? Because I'm playing a little bit injured today. So I had some pizza a couple of days ago, and the pizza burned the roof of my mouth. It did. Yesterday was actually a struggle. You know, over time, you kind of heal. It bounces back. By Friday, I'm sure I'll be 100%. But I'm playing a little bit injured. Now, this wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I talk for a living. So my mouth is constantly moving. It's not comfortable, but I'm a survivor. I'm a fighter, so I'm going to push through it. I compete. That's why I'm here. I'm not just taking random days off like Rob in the middle of the week to just willy-nilly do whatever. No, I'm here. I'm willing to play through it. This is kind of like my flu game, if I'm being honest. This is kind of like I got a stomach bug, but it's game 6 of the NBA Finals. So you know what? I'll take an IV and push through. Now, let me ask you this. What's the worst pain? Is it burning the roof of your mouth? Is it biting your tongue? Hitting your elbow? What's the worst pain that you can have in these situations?
Stubbing your toe. Stubbing your toe is the absolute right answer. A, you automatically feel like an idiot that you forgot how to walk and ran your toe into a table leg or a couch or what have you. And the immense shooting immediate pain nearly cripples you and brings you to your knees, and you just hate that it all transpired because it's the stupidest thing. So, listen, roof of your mouth stinks. If you were smart, you would take a few minutes to wait for that hot pizza. The elbow thing stinks, but it's like you can kind of shake it off in a few seconds. Biting your tongue is in that same vein, but eventually you just push through. Stubbing your toe is the absolute stupidest and worst pain you feel.
If you hit your elbow the right way, you feel like you need Tommy John surgery at the end of it. I'm serious. Like, you feel like you need Tommy John surgery. You know, you get that, like, real stingy feeling. You know what I'm talking about? You get that, like, real stingy feeling in your arm. You feel like your arm is basically going to fall off. Someone said, what about when you get hit in the balls? I mean, it's an undeniable number one. We all agree that that's number one. We fellas here, we don't have to debate on what hurts more than that. No, that's number one. It's number one with the exclamation point. That hurts. We're talking about the other pain that you get. I'm telling you, when you hit your elbow and you feel that numbing sensation, you can't move your hand. Oh, it's the absolute worst feeling that you can have. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, you know what I'd like to get to? What I like to get to is, I'm going to call it Wild Card Wednesday. I looked up some statistics, and I'd be very curious to get your thoughts on what you think these statistics mean. I'll tell you what they are next. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Catch Hall of Famer Denny Matthews every Monday at 3.
And gone, Bobby Witt.
On your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years, and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together and fit like a jigsaw puzzle. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription. And I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really works so good. It makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
Attention, small business owners. Do you need funding for your business? At lendseek.com, we provide revenue-based working capital programs from $20,000 to $1 million. So whether it's funding for inventory, equipment, expansion, payroll, or other needs, seek no more. All it takes is just one simple application to access over 100 funding products that are powered through our breakthrough AI-enabled lending platform to get you the best options in today's marketplace. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of at least $50,000, you could receive the business funding you need when it matters most, regardless of your personal credit score. Funds in your account in just 24 hours with no collateral, no prepayment penalties, and no restrictions on how you use the funds. There's no obligation and zero out-of-pocket costs. So apply for the business funding you need today at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Baseball season is in full swing, and that means the summer heat is coming. The guys at Climate Control have been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years and know how to get your cooling system ready to handle our scorching hot summer weather. Stay cool and comfortable this summer. Call Climate Control today at 816-265-2830 and schedule your AC system tune-up for just $59. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Hi there, I'm Charlie. And I'm Carter. Our dad is Rex with Rex Buys KC. If you're thinking about selling a home in Kansas City and don't know where to start, our dad can help. Sometimes life throws curveballs, like moving for a new job, dealing with a divorce, or inheriting a house you weren't expecting. Dad doesn't just make offers, he talks with people to help them understand all of their options. No pressure, and it doesn't cost anything to talk with his team. He's a local home buyer who really knows Kansas City. If selling to him is the right choice, he'll give you a fair cash offer, and you can close on your timeline even in as little as 7 days. He buys homes in any condition. No need for repairs, no fees, no surprises. Just an honest, easy process so you feel good about your decision. Want to talk to him? Call 816-330-6000 or go to rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
This week only, go to Peter's Clothiers to get half-off suits by Jack Henry. Choose from many colors and sizes. Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line. This week only, Jack Henry suits are half off. Come in today, only at Peter's Clothiers.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Place an order online today at metalsupermarkets.com.
DQ presents How to Make Your Summer Take Flight. Just head into DQ for our new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat. Treat your inner hero to an epic mix of sugar cookie dough, sprinkles, and cake batter flavor. Blend it all with legendary DQ soft serve, and it's enough to tempt Superman himself. Fly into DQ for our new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat before it's gone. And don't miss Superman, only in theaters July 11th. DQ, happy tastes good. Only at participating locations.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can watch every show, plus video clips and shorts, all right from your phone, desktop, or tablet. The Fan's YouTube channel at 965 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, welcome back into The Drive. You are listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. All right, I am going to name today's show. I'm going to name this segment and call it a Wild Card Wednesday. All right, Rob, you probably didn't know this. I looked this up today. I didn't even need your help to do it. Well, since they have expanded the NFL postseason to now 3 wild card teams in each conference, there have been 24 of these wild card teams. 3 in the AFC, 3 in the NFC. There have been 24 of these teams. Did you know that only 11 of them have made the playoffs the next year? So a little less than half of the wild card teams repeat the next season. And not just as wild card teams, any team. For example, Philadelphia was a wild card team 2 years ago. They obviously made the playoffs last year and won the Super Bowl and also won their division. So they're a team that is in this 11 that made the playoffs the next season. 11 out of 24 made the playoffs the next year. So if you were looking at these 6 wild card teams from last season, the Chargers, Steelers, Broncos, Vikings, Commanders, and Panthers, history says 4 of these teams are likely to miss the postseason, and you'll get some new blood, some new teams in the mix. Rob, let's start in the AFC. If I'm going to allow you to keep one of these 2 teams or one of these 3 teams, so we'll do a hold on them, and then we'll discuss the other 2. Who are you going to use as your team that you're going to hold? Your team that you think is going to make the postseason. I'll give you the Chargers, the Steelers, and the Broncos, and then we'll discuss who's going to replace the other 2 teams. Which team are you keeping in the postseason for this upcoming year?
I'm going to place a hold on the Broncos. I think the Broncos are the safest pick there. I think the Steelers are going to really implode. I don't trust Aaron Rodgers. They feel like they're all in. They feel like, I think we had Pony on the show, and he said this feels like it could be an 8-9, sub 500, 7-10 season. So if Pittsburgh is saying that, I'm going to say that about Pittsburgh. I'm selling Charger stock. I frankly don't understand where Charger hype is coming from, if I'm being honest. The Broncos, they feel like they were a good 9-8 team last year. They have a young quarterback. They have a good coach. I think their defense, which was good last year, got better this year. I'm not saying there's some 14-3 threat to the Chiefs, but I'm going to place my hold on the Broncos from those 3 teams.
I actually would place my hold on the Chargers, and I know what you guys are going to say, but this is why. Coach, quarterback. I think they're good enough at those 2 things to get them to 9 or possibly 10 wins to be one of those wild card teams. Like if we are looking at all of the teams that we would deem to be in the mix for the wild card, I assume you're picking Kansas City to win their division. So the Chargers are in that wild card mix. I think they have the best combination of coach and quarterback. So I'll put my hold on them. So if we're now discussing the other 2 teams, so we're discussing somebody's got to replace Pittsburgh, somebody's got to replace the Broncos or Chargers. This is where I would go first. I'm going to go Cincinnati to make the playoffs this upcoming year. I mean, they almost made it last year. They won 9 games. You're asking the Bengals, can they be 1 game better this season than they were last year? They get to 10, they probably make the postseason. I also think that Cincinnati is likely going to get off to a better start this year than they've done the last couple of years. They played Cleveland and Jacksonville the first 2 weeks of the season. You remember, this team usually starts 0-2. They start 0-3. They get off to very, very slow starts. This has actually been the healthiest that Joe Burrow has been in the offseason, and I think that's pretty noticeable for the Bengals early on in the season. So if you're asking me to swap out a playoff wildcard team in the AFC, I'll swap out Pittsburgh. I'll take another team in their division. I'll take Cincinnati to be a playoff team from the AFC. I've told you this from the beginning. I think you always kind of got to go off the board. You got to do something weird. I really like the Raiders this year. I do. I really like the Raiders. I don't think there is a team this offseason that has improved more at coach and quarterback than they have. You go get Pete Carroll, a guy who won a championship in the NFL, a guy who won a championship at USC, certainly knows how to turn things around, and you go get one of the more stable quarterbacks. Every year you see a team kind of take that big jump and kind of take advantage of the schedule. I think it's kind of between New England and Vegas. I think one of those 2 teams this year, if you're asking me, hey, bet on, I think one of those 2 teams makes the postseason this year. I'll pick the Raiders just because I think they have the better coach-quarterback combination. So those are my 2 picks. I'm going to swap out 2 teams. I think the wild card teams, as we're really early in this, I'm going to take the Chargers and the Raiders, so 2 teams again from the AFC West, and I'm going to take the Bengals making it this year over the Steelers.
So first off, as you were gearing up for off the board, I will get to my off the board pick. I agree with you, though, as a 10,000-foot view. We are not at prediction season yet. We're not full-fledged, hey, we got this person. We're not there yet. But I feel like every year what bothers me is you see these NFL prognosticators, and they're like, yep, it's going to be all these teams are good again. All the teams are bad again.
That's not how football works.
You have to pick one that's off the board. You have to pick one that's a last to first. Someone is making that jump. It's hard to pick it, but someone's making that jump. So I'm happy you went off the board with the Raiders. I disagree with it, but I'm happy you went that way. Me and you are on the same page about the Bengals. I think it's the Patriots. I think the Patriots are that team. The team you're describing that makes that jump. It's the New England Patriots. No one talked about it, and no one outside the New England area noticed it. Drake May actually wasn't that bad last season. Now listen, he was not the best rookie quarterback, and it was a good class, but Drake May showed a little something last season.
They also didn't give him no weapons and nobody to throw the football to last year.
And they improved at head coach. I think that Gerard Mayo got a little bit of a raw deal, but Mike Vrabel is a wild improvement.
Mike Vrabel gives you a very solid floor.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? If Drake May is going to give you the ceiling, Mike Vrabel is going to give you the floor. And I am not high on that division at all. The Jets are gearing up to be bad. They're trying to be bad. They are, full heart eyes at Arch Manning. So they're trying to be bad. The Bills are good. The Dolphins feel like they're about a year away from firing everyone, and it's just a free fall year. I think that off-the-board team is the New England Patriots. Now, if Stephon Diggs can stop partying on Cardi B's boat with substances we don't know what they are, I think they have weapons again. You think the defense is going to be good? Mike Vrabel's going to instill a culture. Drake May's not that bad. You're right. Go off the beaten path. I'm going to take the New England Patriots to be one of the teams that fills the void.
So let's play this same game for the teams in the NFC. If you missed it, since the playoffs have expanded in the NFL, out of the 24 wildcard teams, so AFC and NFC, 11 of them have made the playoffs the next season. So, 13 have missed. So there's going to be turnover at the wild card spot. The same way there's turnover, obviously, for who wins the division, there's going to be turnover for who those wild card teams are. I asked you to hold a team in the AFC. Let's play that same game in the NFC. These were the wild card teams: Minnesota, Washington, and Green Bay. If I allow you the opportunity to hold one of these teams in the NFC, and we'll debate the other two and who takes their spot, who are you holding? I'll go ahead and get you out of here. I'm holding Green Bay.
Really?
I'm holding Green Bay.
Oh, we're going to be different here.
I'm holding Green Bay. I'm holding Green Bay for this reason. They just have same conversation we're having on Vrabel and the Patriots and the floor. With Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love, there's just a floor there. There's no chance the Packers are bad this season. There's no way we look up and they're a 5-12 team. So we're talking about a program that at least has a minimum of an 8-win floor to me, and they probably have a ceiling of 12 games. Give me another 10-win season for the Green Bay Packers. They end up being the 6th or the 7th seed, possibly in it for the division. I'll take Green Bay as my hold.
Okay, so my hold, you mentioned stay in the playoffs. That's the hold, and I'll put this caveat on it. I'm going to hold the Minnesota Vikings as the NFC North champions. That's what I am doing with my hold. I think the Vikings are the team in the NFC North.
They got the worst quarterback in the division. You're taking the team with the worst quarterback to win the division?
We don't know he's the worst quarterback. That's first and foremost.
I know he's not better than Jared Goff. I'm pretty sure he's not better than Jordan Love. You would take J.J. McCarthy over Caleb Williams?
He is the epitome of sight unseen. We do not know. But I think they have the best offensive mind in that division. Now that Ben Johnson's out of the division.
He's in the division. He plays with the Bears.
I mean, you're right. Out of Detroit. Excuse me. I have a better way to say that. Now that he's out of Detroit, I still think Kevin McConnell is a better coach as a head coach. We've never seen Ben Johnson as a head coach. So I'm placing my hold on the Vikings as the NFC North champions.
Wow, you're taking the Vikings to win the division.
By the way, the Vikings were a game away last season from being the 2 seed.
You're 100% right. The Vikings, to me, if you're telling me a team that I'm very confident is going to take a step back, it's also them. That Vikings team last year won 14 games. They got 9 wins written all over them this season and missing the playoffs and taking a step back. Yes, Minnesota missing the play. That's an obvious one to me. But no, if you're holding Minnesota,
I'm holding Minnesota.
You're holding
also,
Minnesota.
I'm betting on big regression from Detroit. I think Detroit feels very regression-y.
Yeah, the thing about that is they won 15 games last year. So, like, even if they win 4 fewer games this year, they win 11 games, and that makes the playoff. Like, they're kind of hard to say regression with because they feel a lot like Kansas City. Mm-hmm. Kansas City won 15 games. If they regress and win 3 fewer games, they were worse. But wait, you won 12 games this year. So that's kind of where I feel like Detroit is. I'm with you. They will likely regress. If we're saying that for them, and that Minnesota just screams regression year to be. Everything kind of went right last year. Sam Darnold kind of came out of nowhere, had a big-time season. All right, so you have to replace Washington and Green Bay for this exercise. Who are you replacing Washington and Green Bay with in the NFC? Because there aren't as many options in the NFC as there are in the AFC.
Well, first off, you can just – here are my two. And one feels like kind of like a layup, like I'm cheating a little bit because I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons, who were another team that was
a game. They're going to take them to just win the division.
They're going to win the division. So, yeah.
No, that counts. You can do that.
Yeah, so then that's going to be my change. I'm selling Buck stock again. Team, new coach, Baker, did the whole deal.
Do you got Tampa Bay winning the you got Tampa Bay making a wild card team? You got the Malwright missing the postseason.
Tampa Bay's an out. Okay. So I got Atlanta now as a new, and then I got Arizona as a new in.
Oh, my goodness. You're doing that with Arizona? You know what Arizona is? The West Coast New Orleans Saints.
No, they're not.
I did this for 3 years. I mean, look at the Saints. Look at the division. They're going to get back in it. You know Arizona's not going anywhere this year.
Arizona's the wild card.
Stop it.
Now, they get drubbed in the game at 9-8, but they will make the wild card.
No chance.
Go ahead. Tell me about the Bears. I'm excited to hear all about the Bears.
You know I'm taking the Bears. It's an obvious to me. Yes, the Bears that won 5 games last year, they're winning 10 games this year and making the postseason. They have upgraded significantly everywhere on offense that matters. They have a better head coach. Their quarterback should be better this year. Their quarterback, who actually played really well last season, he was just as good as C.J. Stroud was in year 1. People just don't like him because he shops at Sephora, so they just don't like him. They're better at running back this year than they were last year. They're better on the offensive line. They're better at tight end and better at wide receiver. They're going to be one of the top 8 offenses in the NFL this year. Yes, I will absolutely take Chicago. I'm taking Carolina. Give me Carolina.
It's actually not a bad pick.
It's not a bad pick at all.
If you believe in Bryce Young, then it's that simple.
It's not a bad pick. Division. Carolina is one of those teams that they could just get a little bit better. They win 9 games. They grab that 7th spot. And we're like, hey, Carolina, they played a lot better than people think. So that's how I'm going to do it. You know, I'm selling Commander stock. I think the Commanders are prime regression team. But if you were looking at the wild card, and just 11 of the last 24 teams that have been a wild card team have made it the following season, there's obviously going to be a lot of turnover that happens at the bottom of the playoff roster in the National Football League. I'm curious to hear what your teams are. 913-586-7965. We'll read some of your texts coming up on the other side, and we'll get back to talking about baseball. Jack Caglione hit his first home run last night. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. On your new home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey guys, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive. Summer is officially here, and that means the sun is out and the grill is hot and life is calling you. But what if you're just not feeling it? Low energy, brain fog, maybe you have no drive. It might not just be your age. It could be low testosterone. At Heartland Men's Health, they know what you're going through, and they know exactly how to help. Low T can lead to poor sleep, weight gain, low sex drive, and zero motivation, but it doesn't have to be that way. Do you know what the first step is? It's taking the free Low T quiz at heartlandmenshealth.com. It only takes 2 minutes. Then schedule your $99 consult. That includes lab work and a full medical review. And if your treatment starts that day, that means your visit is on the house. Don't wait. Heartland Men's Health is changing lives in Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Call this number, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com today. That one phone call can change your life, can change your summer. So get back to feeling like yourself. Pick up the phone and call Heartland Men's Health today.
This report is brought to you by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Proud partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each can of Surfside is only 100 calories and the best part, 0 bubbles. Grab it at the K or ask for it at your favorite bars and liquor stores.
Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City, now open. Dine on mouth-watering appetizers, then feast on one of our 6 American Wagyu burgers, including the Bacon Jam Burger and Blazing Burger. Wash it down with your favorite ice-cold beverage, all while watching the game on one of our 45 TVs. Dine in or carry out. Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City always hits the spot. Brew Brothers and Brew Brothers Express are now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-BETS-OFF.
Hey there, Royals fans. It's Royals Hall of Famer Mike Sweeney. Have you or your kids experienced a high school coach who wants to make our Kansas City community a better place to live, work, and play? The Royals and the See You in the Major Leagues Foundation, together with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City, are shining a spotlight on 6 impactful coaches in the KC metro area. Nominate a high school coach today at royals.com/coaches with character.
The Nissan 4th of July sale is on at Reiselman Nissan, and 0% financing is back. That's right, 0% APR for 5 full years on Rogues, Muranos, and Pathfinders. Or choose 1.9% for 72 months, even 84 months at just 3.49% APR. Traded your last car at 7% interest? Trade up and lower your payments today. Plus, get up to $6,000 in total rebates on the rugged Frontier. Nobody in Kansas City beats our deals or selection. Visit Reiselman.com for details. Reiselman Nissan. Every customer, every time.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on home and auto insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your house sitter has the new code first, before leaving for vacation.
System lockout.
But that's the code!
Contacting authorities.
I'm out of here.
Oh, seriously, the car too?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a home and auto bundle that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Potential savings vary. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
In a world parched for excitement, Twisted Tea's your refreshing thrill ride of flavor. The hard iced tea that's smooth, made with real brewed tea and 5% alcohol. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Royals coverage sponsored by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
At Metal by the Foot, we pride ourselves on delivering the highest quality metal to meet your exact needs. Located in KC and Topeka, online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Metal by the Foot. Down near Grandview, 49 southbound past Red Bridge, the right lane is blocked. Coming down from Lansing, you've got K7 southbound past Polfer Road, the right lane blocked. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, Kansas City, it's Vinny Pasquantino. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
Someone just texted this in. CDOT, so do you think that Jaden Daniels is a fluke? In year one, he was better than any season Jordan Love has put up. I'm not actually sure if that's the case. I mean, in 2023, Jordan Love completed 64% of his passes, threw for 4,000 yards, had 32 touchdowns. Like, Jordan Love was really good 2 seasons ago. Now, he definitely took a step back last season. I think that Jaden Daniels is good. Don't get me wrong. He had a great season last year, a phenomenal season. This is my question, though, for Washington, and we see this happen every year in the NFL. A team exceeds everybody's expectations, and they are far better than any of us think. The next year, now that we're all looking for them, I always say there's 2 steps you got to take in the NFL. One is to go from where Detroit and Washington used to be to where they are now. 2 very good teams that have both recently played in the NFC Championship game. Now you got to take that next step. That's the hard step, to go from being a good team to a great team and doing something that they hang flags for. I don't think Washington was as good as their record last season. Maybe that's the way of putting it. These were the wins last year for Washington. Washington last season, their wins were. Now ESPN gives me that weird pop-up, that they do. Let me click refresh really quickly. All right, I'm good. All right, these were the wins that they had. New York, Cincinnati, week 3 Cincinnati, not week 12 Cincinnati, week 3 Cincinnati, Arizona, Cleveland. I mean, their first 4 wins are against non-playoff teams. Carolina, Chicago, New York. Rob, we're past Halloween. They didn't beat a potential playoff team. They then beat Tennessee December 1st. Their first 8 wins last season are against non-playoff teams. They then beat New Orleans. They beat Philadelphia. Remember, Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts got injured, and Kenny Pickett started for them in that game. So they didn't even beat the real version of the Eagles, Atlanta, and Dallas. They got 12 bad wins last year. They got 12 bad wins. You get what? So real quick, there's 14 teams, I guess 18 teams that don't make the postseason. 11 of them the Commanders beat last season. They didn't have a lot of really good wins. What I think happens this year with Washington is, I think that now we have the expectation. I just think it could be a normal year. Jaden Daniels this season maybe doesn't take the jump that you think he does. He throws 24 touchdown passes, but has 12 interceptions this year. Throws for 30. That's still a pretty solid year, but doesn't really take that jump forward. And Washington's just fine this year. They win 8 games, they win 9 games, but they're not really one of those elite teams. That's what I think happens to the Commanders.
Here's the thing. I think you're being a little harsh with the Commanders for this reason. You are holding them the same standard as a team that makes the playoffs and then gets beat in the wild card round. You're holding them the same standard as the Broncos or the Dolphins from 2 years ago. You're kind of discounting what Washington did once they got in. When they were in the playoffs, what they started doing? Beating playoff teams. Like that happened. The minute they made the dance, they were not one and done. They won 2 playoff games on the road. They went to Tampa Bay. All right, you want to discount the NFC South? Cool. They went on the road to the 1 seed and beat the Lions, or maybe the Lions ended up being the 2 seed. I apologize.
I mean, it doesn't matter. They went in there, smoked the Lions. They did smoke the Lions.
I think your logic adds up if we're talking about the 2023 Dolphins, 2024 Broncos, like those teams, the 2010 Chiefs. You make it, then you lose in the first round, a superior team. The Commanders got in and did something, and that has to have a little bit of a factor here.
Yeah, this is where I disagree. And someone says, CDOT, Washington literally played for the NFC Championship. We make it seem like that hasn't been we make it seem like random teams don't pop up in the NFC Championship game. Let me ask you a question. Who did the Chiefs beat the first time they went to the AFC Championship game? Who did they beat? Tennessee.
Beat the Titans.
Tennessee. Yep. And Rob, the next season, what did you tell me every time we talked about Tennessee? Fluke.
That's true.
Fluke. Look, they got Ryan Tannehill. Look, they got Derrick Henry. I don't believe in that team. Remember, we have the cut in there. Remember I think it was actually the last AFC Championship game that the Patriots won with Tom Brady. Who they beat? Jacksonville with Blake Bortles.
I mean, they beat the Chiefs. That was the last.
Okay, my bad. So the second one before
the last one they hosted.
Right. No, you're right. Yeah. So I'm just like, we make it seem like random teams don't make it to the NFC Championship game kind of frequently. It's not always Kansas City and Buffalo and Kansas City and Baltimore. Sometimes you get Philadelphia and Washington. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's what happens. Not every Final Four is Duke, Kansas, Memphis, and Gonzaga. No, sometimes you get Creighton in the Final Four and Florida Atlantic in the Final Four.
But to be fair, not to interrupt, I apologize for interrupting. Sometimes that team that a lot of people think, oh, they made the fluky run to the title game, turns out to be real. I mean, remember, was it 3 years ago now? The team the Chiefs played in the AFC title game was the Bengals. You would have told me at the time, hey, the Bengals they got to play with the Raiders at home, and then they got to play on the road against the Titans. Joe Burrow's good, but this feels like a fluke. This feels like a one-off. The Bengals we now view as one of those types of teams. What's the difference between, the Commanders becoming a Bengals level of thorn in the Eagles side and just the fluke fall-off that the Jags were?
Proving it again. That's all. My point with Washington is very simple. Prove it again. You didn't beat anybody last year in the regular season. The Washington season boils down to an upset on the road against Detroit. A great win, don't get me wrong. But we all kind of knew at the end of the season that the Lions were kind of leaking oil a little bit. I just went through their schedule. Their first 9 wins of last season were against non-playoff teams. They didn't beat anybody. Everybody's 11 and 12 wins are not made equal. I know it's, you can't control who you play. Well, I mean, look at who Kansas City beat sometimes on the road. Like, so when people are criticizing Kansas City, I was like, wait, hold on. I mean, they beat Baltimore, they beat Buffalo, they beat Tampa Bay, they beat this team on the road. Like, yeah, maybe they're not blowing these teams out, but you're not really supposed to blow Baltimore, Buffalo, and Philadelphia. That's not the way that your schedule is designed. I mean, the Giants, Bengals, Cardinals, Browns, Panthers, Bears, half of the teams that they beat in the first 7 games fired their coach in the middle of the season. No, I'm not buying it. Maybe I'll end up being wrong on the Commanders, and that's perfectly fine. If you're telling me that you didn't beat a playoff team until after Thanksgiving last year, I'm just not buying it this season. You regress. You regress this year. You take a step back. Schedule's a little tougher. Nobody is overlooking you this year. Everybody knows that you're a good team. Everybody's going to take you seriously this year. You go on the road and you play Green Bay week 2. I want to see what that looks like on the road. Green Bay, Thursday Night Football. Washington goes on the road and plays the Chargers this year. On the road and plays in Kansas City this year. They got Detroit on the schedule this year. They play Philadelphia twice. They play much better competition this year. Let's see how they hold up. I didn't see enough last year, so that's why I am with Washington. And again, maybe I'll be wrong. But I'm definitely playing the schedule game with them, 100%.
Like I said, I understand it with some teams. I feel like you're treating them like they were the cutesy Broncos or the upstart Dolphins. Look at them. They made it, and they get walloped. They made it, and then they made noise once they were in there. They showed, and their talent has improved this year too. Like, that's what you do after a good season. You add Deebo Samuel. You add these things to improve the roster. So they have the feel of a team that could be taking that next step. But you know what? You're right. If you wait for them to prove it, that's fine. We will see how Jaden Daniels is on the field in year 2.
Yeah, they added a very overrated wide receiver, and they added the best offensive lineman from maybe the worst offensive line last year in the National Football League.
First off, Chiefs fans would have killed to add the offensive lineman that Washington added. They would. Come on now.
I actually don't know if the Chiefs would have done that. I actually think the Chiefs had a better improvement at left tackle than the Texans.
If the Texans were willing to trade to the Chiefs, then they would have preferred Tunsil.
I would have been very disappointed if that was the case.
Really?
I'd have been very disappointed.
You're just lower on Tunsil than me. Laramie Tunsil's one of those type of left tackles. He's not Trent Williams, like that's a freak, but he's one of those like Jordan Mailata type of really good left tackle.
Yeah, I kind of think that at this point it might be a little bit more name than game at this point with him, and we'll just kind of see how it looks for this upcoming season. Let's get back to local. Let's talk about the Royals. Yesterday, Jack Caglione, he had a home run at Kauffman Stadium.
1-1 pitch. Caglione hits a drive out into the gap in right center field. That's in the alley and gone. Caglione's first home run at Kauffman Stadium. Kind of a sinking line drive. And it went out of the shadows around home plate and over the wall and brightly lit by the sun right center field. So now Caglione is homered at Kauffman Stadium, and he has a total of 3 home runs and puts the Royals up 1-0 here in the second inning.
No doubt Jack Caglione could feel like he could fly right now.
Let me ask you this. Maybe this is like a cynical way of looking at it, but it's just the question that I have. Do you think people are disappointed with the way that Jack Caglione's, first handful of games have gone? He certainly came in with a lot of hype, and he hasn't lived up to that hype. I do wonder if the hype, I don't want to say was misplaced. That seems like very harsh. I just wonder if there were just a lot of unrealistic expectations that were placed on him because of how he was dominating down at the minor league level. And I do think that there was an expectation that Well, he was really good in AA. He was really good in AAA. Now that he's here, he will just continue to do those same things. I think what you are seeing is a 22-year-old that is starting to figure some things out. Like, I think yesterday could be a very positive sign for him. It's the best game that he has had at Kauffman Stadium in a month. He hit a home run. He contributed to a win. You got kind of that monkey off your back. I think yesterday was a really, really positive sign. Of all the players on this team, the player I think you should be most excited in the second half of the season is with Jack Caglione. And, I mean, we're just now coming up on 100 ABs. What does this look like when he gets to 150, when he gets to 200, 250? What does it look like when you just get more of a sample size and he starts to figure out what works and doesn't work and just get a much better understanding of things? So my stance on Jack has been very simple. Patience, patience, patience. We're talking about a 22-year-old that probably shouldn't be up here, if we're being honest. Like, he should probably be still down in the minor leagues, getting some seasoning, still getting some ABs, but he's here, so let's make the most of it. And I said this back whenever it started. I don't have a problem with you throwing your rookie quarterback into the deep end. Maybe your rookie quarterback has 8 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, but you learn trial by fire, and you got to get those reps, and you got to hope that those reps you learn from those experiences. So maybe he's not hitting the 260 with the power that you thought he was going to, but I think the very valuable experience that you're getting here with the big league club, that can only be a positive for you if you're talking about this being a lasting thing.
I don't think fans are disappointed with Cags. I think there's a couple reasons why. One is I still think that people view the hitting coach as the absolute scapegoat. We got a text yesterday, or maybe it was earlier today. For the timeline, I apologize. They said, we're talking about Cags, it's obvious that it's coaching because he was hitting at AA and hitting at AAA. So I think there is a level of, invincibility Cags has among fans because they're going to place his blames elsewhere. He placed his struggles elsewhere, similar to how the whole offense, everyone blamed the hitting coach for a while. So I think that's one reason why fans are not disappointed. And two, I think Kansas City fans are good baseball fans. They realize hitting a baseball might be the most difficult thing to do in all sports. It is really, really hard to be a good Major League Baseball player. And Jack Caglione is 13 months removed from playing against insurance salesmen with a metal bat in Omaha. This move is, really, really fast. The difference in facing, let's not use the Pirates pitcher as an example because that's unfair. The difference in facing a Major League pitcher, even just an average one, like a Tarek Skubal, and the best, college pitcher in Omaha is night and day. So I think fans are not disappointed because A, any struggles he has, they place blame elsewhere. And two, they're smart enough to know that at 22, to go from Omaha in June of 24 to, hey, Major League Club in June of 25, and the expectation is hit the ground running, that's probably too high of a level to expect. So I think that's why there's a lack of disappointment. Now, if he keeps hitting 150 and it's August and September, I think you might hear a little bit of fan frustration and sentiment about, we may have made a mistake. But I think he gets an air of invincibility right now because fans understand the leap he's made, and they're quick to blame everyone but him for his struggles.
I will say this now, I guess, kind of looking back, and maybe this was, I think a lot of people were selling this. I think a lot of people were selling is there's no advantages to you being in AAA. I mean, really smart baseball people. I mean, Jack Caglione was in Omaha for 2 weeks. Well, I mean, you can't get anything more from AAA. What? You can't get anything from it? I mean, J.J. Cooper said that. We had former general managers saying that. You can't get anything from playing AAA baseball. Like, in some ways, I kind of think the Royals front office was in between a rock and a hard place. Their offense was bad, however you want to put it. Their offense was struggling. I mean, that's a better way of putting it. Their offense was struggling. Fans every day are screaming to bring this player up. Every single day are telling you this. Maybe you don't think that he is ready, but do you want to just answer the questions every single day of why he's not here? Or do you put him in there and just kind of see what happens and let him play out the rest of the season and hope that things work out? Like, I do think we kind of have to shoot the Royals this. If the Royals offense was continuing to be dead last in baseball and Jack Caglione was down in the minor leagues hitting 280 and hitting for home runs, you guys would be furious if that was the case. Even if they thought that was the best thing for his development. Even if J.J. Piccolo kept saying the entire time, he's not ready, we think he needs 300 ABs in the minor leagues. We will not discuss it before he gets to 300 ABs. You guys would be mad if that was the case. Now that he's up here, maybe he's up here a little bit too early after getting 47 at-bats in AAA. Now that we see maybe he wasn't fully ready to be up here, now the organization did something wrong. I do kind of think that the Royals were in between a rock and a hard place, and they kind of got their hand forced, A, by how the big league club was playing and by the way that he was playing. And now they've thrown him out there. You're giving him ABs, and you're just hoping that he can kind of figure this thing out on the fly.
And to that point, and maybe this is the figure out on the fly, I don't think the Royals can send him back down this season. You talk about that he's too good, he nothing to learn at AAA, only learn here. He might take his lumps for another 4 or 5 months, however long the baseball season is this year for the Royals. It could be October, it could be into September. I think he's going to take his lumps up here, but if you're going to bring him up, if you're going to manipulate the Super 2, if you're going to affect his clock on when you're going to pay him on the back end, and if you think on the back end he's going to be the guy you think he's going to be, you cannot send him back down in AAA. It's got to be MJ Melendez hitting under 100, doing a lot of flailing up their level of bad. I think the Royals are now to be that rock and a hard place, kind of have to keep him up for the rest of the season to see if he is going to learn at this level. Because there's no benefit in facing, Bozo the Clown, the 38-year-old AAA guy down in Louisville, and pounding homers off him. That doesn't benefit anyone. He's got to be up from now until the end of the season and figure it out here.
I would love to talk to more baseball people about this because someone asked the question, CDOT, what's better for Jack's confidence? Is it getting sitting back down or staying at the big league level and struggling? I'm just a believer that the greats are eventually going to figure it out. I use the analogy with Kobe. For all the Mamba mentality that you guys talk about, Kobe didn't have that early on in his career. Kobe didn't play immediately out of high school. And when he got an opportunity in the postseason, he struggled. You know what Kobe was always going to do? Put the work in to figure it out. Peyton Manning threw 20 interceptions his rookie season, struggled his rookie year. You know what he did? He figured it out. So I understand confidence and you want to keep a guy's confidence high and you do all that. I get it. But if Jack Caglione is Pete Alonso, if he is what we had people coming on here saying that behind Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani, he has the best raw power of any prospect in baseball, then I'm sorry. If they're right, if that's true, he'll figure it out. And maybe he doesn't figure it out in 2025. Maybe he figures out in 2026. Maybe he figures out in 27 at 24 years old. But if you were telling me that the traits are that strong, eventually, if that's true, they shine through. I believe that. I really do. You're 22 years old. You haven't been here a month. Jack Caglione hasn't been on the big league team for a month. Hey, keep your confidence high. Hey, you're figuring some things out. Look, you've hit the ball hard. Look, you're doing this right. Look, if we adjust these things, we're still working at it. We're still getting there. There's no reason to hang your head if you're him. Hey, think about where you were a year ago. A year ago, you were in Florida. A year ago, you were riding the bus in minor league baseball. Now you're in Yankee Stadium. Now you're in San Francisco. You're fine. You're ahead of schedule. I think that needs to be the message to him. I think that has to be the message. What's that saying from The Wire? Like, what's war? Once you in it, you in it. Like, that's where you are. Like, once you make the decision to fast track your number one prospect, there's no going back in a month. There's no going back in 85 at-bats and saying, oh, well, we were wrong. No, you weren't wrong. You better fight on that for the rest of the season. From now until the baseball game of the year, Jack Caglione needs to be playing for the Kansas City Royals. You cannot send him back down now at this point. And you just got to hope that through coaching, through just time, experience, more reps, you got to hope that he figures things out. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
I'm Bopper, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
You want to see the ring? Here, I have a picture. Wow, look at you. I know, right? Went to Hellsberg and customized the whole thing. Oh, yeah? Yeah, well, I showed them all her inspiration photos, picked the setting, the diamond. It's actually pretty fun. Now for the real hard part, asking her.
Well, congrats, buddy. The ring looks awesome.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Baseball season is in full swing, and that means the summer heat is coming. The guys at Climate Control have been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years and know how to get your cooling system ready to handle our scorching hot summer weather. Stay cool and comfortable this summer. Call Climate Control today at 816-265-2830 and schedule your AC system tune-up for just $59. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Hey folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth. Why not start today?
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-444-2013. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-444-2013. That's 800-444-2013. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
In a world parched for excitement, Twisted Tea's your refreshing thrill ride of flavor. The hard iced tea that's smooth, made with real brewed tea and 5% alcohol. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Only $39 for an AC tune-up. Book now at themvpkc.com. MVP Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electric is your home's MVP this summer. Get a summer AC tune-up for just $39 and avoid costly repairs. Call today, 913-214-1212, or visit Visit themvpkc.com. MVP, one call does it all.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Problem in Raytown, 435 southbound just past 70. It is the right lane closed. Down south, 435 east and westbound affected at Metcalf. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
I have a favorite NFL player. My favorite NFL player has changed over time. For those of you that have been listening to the show for a long time, you know that there was a point that Russell Wilson was my favorite player. Now, I loved Russell Wilson coming out of college. I loved him when he was at NC State. You know those college football games, the ones that come on at 11 o'clock that Pam Ward calls on just regular ESPN. I remember watching Russell Wilson. I remember thinking, man, this guy's quarterback's actually pretty good. Kind of followed his career, kind of kept up with him. He went to Wisconsin afterwards. And I actually think that Russell Wilson should have won the Heisman Trophy his year at Wisconsin. They lost 2 games on a Hail Mary. 2 games on a Hail Mary, back-to-back weeks. I think he was the best player in college football that year. Once he went to the Broncos, I will admit, I don't know. It just got kind of weird with Russell Wilson that I was out. That right now, I actually don't have a favorite football player. That was until I heard this clip. Now, I've already been kind of trending in this direction for quite some time. But now I think I might officially be there. I think my favorite player in the league is Kirk Cousins. I haven't seen the show Quarterback yet. I plan on watching it some this weekend, but I have not started this new season of Quarterback. I had no clue this was in there. Kirk Cousins is the best.
Kurt?
Yep.
Okay, I'm ready for you.
Let's go.
All right. My name is Catherine. I'll be doing a
Catherine?
great clip today.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I go to one place, and that's Great Clips, because I can just go on the app.
How you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
Amazing.
I can see what the wait is. If the wait time is under 15 minutes, I just sign up, and then I can just drive there and walk right in and get right in the chair. This is what I'm looking for.
Okay, so
Just like a one, and then you fade it up.
Okay, you got it.
That sound good?
Sounds good.
Now I start just holding up a picture. I took a picture from one of the headshots from a Falcons game program, and I just say, can you do this? And that usually helps eliminate any gray area. Everybody needs a little rush in their lives, and I get mine when I go to Great Clips to get my hair cut.
Now, I don't know if Kirk Cousins has a sponsorship deal with Great Clips. I don't know. I'm telling you right now that he should. He should. If this was purely organic and they were like, hey, we just want to see your life. We want to see what you do. And he's like, well, I get my hair cut at Great Clips. If that's the case right now, then the CEO of Great Clips needs to call him and just give him a gold card. I know this exists for Chipotle because I know someone who has it. Nick Wright has one of these cards. Chipotle sent him, it's like a black card, Rob. I don't know if you know this or not. But this card guarantees that every time Nick goes to Chipotle, he gets $20 for free. So you essentially get 2 burritos every time you go in there for free. They need to give this to Kirk Cousins. He needs to be the first person ever with the Great Clips gold card. You walk in there and you just want to get a haircut. You sit down in the chair. He shows the woman his Sunday night football picture so she can know what he wants his hair to look like. She cuts it. I imagine it's what, $20, $25? I don't know how much they're charging for haircuts at Great Clips. I'm telling you right now that Great Clips, their number one sponsor should be Kirk Cousins. Rob, I'll never forget this. This was like early on in my career, and at this point, I didn't have any sponsorship reads. So it was like a big deal to finally get a potential sponsor. Like someone wants, hey, we want you to tell people to come to our establishment. I remember I had a meeting. I sat down. I didn't know any much about it, but I didn't care at that point. I just wanted to put the extra money in my pocket. Rob, it was for Fantastic Sam's. And I looked at everybody in the room, and I was so confused. And I looked at them and said, I can't tell people to go to Fantastic Sam's. And the person looked so confused on why I couldn't tell people. And I was like, you know what? It's just time to go. That's why I said it's just time for me to go. I don't think I can tell people to go to Fantastic Sam's or Great Clips. But you know who's the perfect person to do this? Kirk Cousins. Kirk, every time I learn more about your life, I seem to love it more and more. Remember in the first season of quarterback when he was showing us his closet and his wife was telling us how she goes out and shops for his clothes and gets them at Kohl's, and now he goes on the apps to see where he can get his hair cut? You know who Kirk Cousins is? Kirk Cousins is Rob Brenton. That's who it is, Rob. I know why I like Kirk Cousins so much. It's because I like you. You and Kirk Cousins are the same individual. You're the same guy.
Kirk Cousins is every Johnson County dad. Young dad. I'm not talking like the 50 and 60-year-olds. He is every 35 to 45-year-old Johnson County father. By the way, Kirk Cousins, I also in the documentary, great father, shops at Kohl's, goes to Great Clips. I like that he's on the app for the convenience. I don't want to be sitting around for 15, 20 minutes. I want to sit down, walk up, get my cut, pay my $9 or whatever it is, and get out of there. Like there is a likability to Kirk Cousins. A little part of me is sad that he's not going to be a starter this year in the league. Why didn't the Browns trade for him? Why didn't someone who is, needing a quarterback trade for Kirk Cousins? Having a season of him hold a clipboard behind Michael Penix, while better for the Falcons, is less fun for us because I want him screaming, "You like that?" I want him telling stories about being at Great Clips. I don't want him holding a clipboard and being on a headset. That's no fun for us.
I do know this. I don't think this needs to be a full-on documentary. Like, I'm not that interested in the subject, but I would be very, very intrigued at an E60 at the various ways that NFL players handle this. Like, do you know the story about LeBron? So LeBron, when he left Cleveland to go to Miami, he was looking for somebody to cut his hair. I think Dwayne Wade or somebody, however the story goes, he then ends up going to this barber. He ends up kind of building a rapport with the barber. When he then goes back to Cleveland, he then moved this guy from Miami to Cleveland, paid for his shop, all of that. The only rule is that LeBron is first in line and any teammate is first in line. That guy now lives with him in Los Angeles as well because obviously he moved. So if you've ever seen that TV show, The Shop, you know The Shop when he used to do this in the barbershop, that guy that's cutting LeBron's hair is his actual barber. That's the guy from the story I'm telling you about. So think about the way I just told you that LeBron handles haircuts for somebody who doesn't really have a lot of hair, and how Kirk Cousins is doing it. Kirk Cousins goes on the Great Clips app. Kirk Cousins has made $400 million in his NFL career. $400 million. He has the Great Clips app on his phone. Uses the app, doesn't call in, uses the app. Walks into the barbershop, sits down in the chair, shows the woman a picture, gets a haircut, and leaves. Kirk Cousins is a hero. I'm telling you. We need an E60 on stories like Kirk Cousins on how they get their haircut. I'd watch that E60.
Remember the story? It was during COVID, and that Patrick Mahomes, I don't know if it's Patrick Mahomes' barber or the barber the team brought in ahead of the COVID Super Bowl, supposedly may have had the vid because one of the linemen or backup quarterbacks got it. Like, I feel like if we had a whole E60 expose about barbers and how NFL, NBA, and players handle their hair, you'd be stunned as a person to think how much they care about these things and how much money, outside of Kirk Cousins apparently, they are spending on their hair. Like, we don't even use the top of the line. Bobby Witt has a notable haircut. Eric Hosmer in town had a notable haircut. How much money do you think they are spending to find the guy or girl to cut their hair that way every single time? I bet it would stun people to find out the number.
I actually don't think it's actually Mahomes' barber. It's probably a lot less than you think. Now, I'm just
he might travel with him, and I don't know about that. That adds to the cost. I'm talking about those costs,
No,
too.
Mahomes just has a standing appointment every day at this time. I come in there. It is just known. You cut my hair. Yeah, no. The Mahomes haircut situation, it's a little. How much is a haircut at Great Clips, you think? Like, I've never been in there before. I don't know anything about Great Clips.
I guess $9. I was wrong.
Right now, you could be right. You could be wrong. I don't know. Like, tomorrow, if you're like, hey, you know what? I really need a haircut. I want to go to Great Clips. Do you think, number one, Great Clips could cut my hair?
well or
like
just do it?
tomorrow, if I just go in there and I'm like, man, my barber's a little bit sick right now. I need Great Clips to give me a haircut. Because I'm looking right now on the Great Clips website, and none of these people look like me. Or have hair very similar to my hair.
I think they could. I don't think you'd be happy with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I'm looking at the picture of the woman that's cutting Kirk Cousins' hair. I don't know if she could line me up. I don't know if she could get me to taper. I'm not 100% certain if she could. She didn't look like she had that hair care ability. I'm sure she has great hair care ability. But, Rob, my hair and your hair,
not the same.
Very different kind of hairs. Very different.
I think they could literally cut it. I think you would not be out of the store before you realized I've made a terrible
decision. All right, how much is it for a haircut at Great Clips? Right now, I'm looking at one. They have an estimated wait time of 0 minutes. So if you want to go to this one, the Mill Street Station, you can go in there right now and just get you a haircut. There's no one in the chair right now.
I mean, it's 4 o'clock on a Wednesday. That's not too surprising to me.
Prime time to go in there and get a cut. Why do I got to click so much to figure out how much a haircut is? Why do I got to figure out so much? I'm about to give up. I don't even know how much it is. Oh, here we go. Here we go, Rob. I figured it out. At this location, it's $20 for a cut.
Oh, there you go. It's a little northward, I guess.
That's half of what my haircut cost me.
It
is half of what my haircut is. For a kid, it's $10 or it's $18 for a kid. You only get a $2 discount for your 11-year-old?
I mean,
a $2 discount?
What are they defining kid as? I'm taking a 4-year-old in there, just shave it all off.
10 and under. 10 and under is an $18
That's
cut.
A horrible discount.
Terrible discount.
Bad deal.
You can get a neck trim, beard trim, a bang trim, and a shampoo for $10 if you want to go stop by Great Clips. I learned a lot today. I didn't know this information before we started this, but now I know how much a haircut costs at Great Clips. Coming up on the other side, I give the umpires and officials a little bit of love. I'll explain. Keep it right here. So drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Problem in Raytown, 435 southbound just past 70. It is the right lane closed. Down south, 435 east and westbound affected at Metcalf. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5, The Fan, traffic.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At Straight Talk, we are all about no-brainers. Calling Grandma for her recipe, no-brainer. Streaming one more episode at 2 a.m., big no-brainer. Getting real unlimited data where you buy bananas, the ultimate no-brainer. Switch now and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2025 with select plans. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 7/2025. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com/terms. Copyright 2025 Verizon.
Circa Millions and Circa Survivor are back with millions in guaranteed prizes. Details at circasports.com.
Circa Millions and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $21 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
Wish your outdoor space felt more like an escape? Let Powell Exteriors KC create the perfect custom deck or patio cover built to keep you cool, comfortable, and loving life outside. It's not too late. Get your free estimate now, and you could be enjoying your new deck or patio in a matter of weeks. Siding, windows, roofing, they do it all. But this time of year, it's all about decks, cover, and shade. Go to PowellExteriorsKC.com to schedule your free estimate. Powell Exteriors KC. Kansas City's exterior experts.
Gear up, race fans. Sioux Cup IndyCar Race Weekend is roaring into Iowa Speedway July 11th to the 13th, featuring the only NTT IndyCar Series doubleheader weekend on the 2025 schedule. Sioux Cup IndyCar Race Weekend has become one of the most anticipated and action-packed events in racing. Tickets are going fast. Score yours today and get ready to feel the rush at the fastest short track on the planet. Visit IndyCarAtIowa.com for tickets. Sioux Cup IndyCar Race Weekend at Iowa Speedway, the ultimate summer racing event.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Don't let clogged drains slow you down. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews ensures your peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Get a $15 prepaid MasterCard after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
College days are back on the drive. Listen for MIZ Day on Wednesday, July 16th, starting at 2 o'clock on 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
I'm going to attempt to do something that has maybe never happened before. Before we do that, I want to update you on a story. Now, we won't spend too much time on this because you guys have made it very clear that you don't care how the players get treated. Just play football. ESPN has found out that the NFL and the NFL Players Association quietly agreed to a confidentiality deal that hid the outcome of a collusion grievance, which this grievance was essentially filed by Lamar Jackson. Remember when Lamar Jackson was trying to get a new contract? He was trying to get a fully guaranteed contract, and no one seemed interested in Lamar Jackson. It all felt very weird that this had happened. Well, we know that this happened now. The NFL and the Players Association quietly agreed to this confidentiality deal that hid the outcome, which the league found that the league urged owners to limit guaranteed money after the Deshaun Watson deal. And as you would imagine, the players are pissed about this. Now, again, I know you guys don't care. You just want to play football. You don't care. They already make enough money. I get it. So we don't got to spend too much time on it. But my goodness, this will be my question, Rob. And maybe this is like I'm ignorant in asking this. Why would the NFL Players Association, why would their representation work with the NFL on this? Like, isn't their responsibility to operate in the best interest of the players? I mean, the best interest of the NFL players is that they get guaranteed money. That's their best interest. Why is the NFL Players Association behind the closed doors? Why are they working with the owners to essentially take money out of certain players' pockets? Why would they do this? How does this benefit the power of the Players Association? I get why the owners don't want to give the players guaranteed money. It keeps control. You can cut them, you can trade, you can do all of these things. Like, I get why the owners are not in favor of it. Why would the management for the players, why would they be against guaranteed contracts and agree to not tell their union? Why would they agree to do this?
It makes absolutely no sense to me. And I know fans don't care about, how the money works, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But if I'm J.C. Treader, because I was trying to find his name, and I was the president of the NFLPA, he was the former center for the Browns.
He has to step down immediately.
What? He is no longer that person because he's not in football anymore. He's no longer the union.
Whoever the people are in charge of this can no longer be involved with the Players Association.
I have no idea why that guy would be anti other players getting guaranteed contracts. It makes literally no sense to me. None. Like, I'm trying to find any story that says, here's why this person did this. Here's why this person. It makes no sense.
We can move on from this. I just wanted to share this with you guys. The NFL, so it has been found out that the NFL and the Players Association quietly agreed to keep they had a confidential agreement to not release to the players the outcome of a collusion grievance. The owners essentially came together to stop guaranteed contracts. I mean, we kind of knew this before. Like, it was one of those things, like, it wasn't hard to put two and two together, but it was always Lamar Jackson's free agency, and I put that in quotes. It felt weird when it happened. Wait, like, you're telling me this guy's available and no team is interested in him at quarterback? It just didn't really make a lot of sense. I guess now we have our answer. It's because everybody was working together to make sure that he didn't get this, because it was going to be bad for the owners. It was going to be bad. If now you got to start fully guaranteeing quarterback deals and what that means, and we're talking about that's big time money. That's $300-something million guaranteed. The owners wanted no part of that, and the Players Association, they helped them in covering up this information. All right, I want to play this for you because I think we are the problem. I do. I think we're the problem. Let me explain. We don't think the officiating is good anywhere. I know you guys don't like the NFL officiating. Or maybe you do like the officiating, just everybody has a problem with the officiating for your team. But people seem generally unhappy with the way that the NFL is officiated. Some of you will not watch the NBA because of the way that the officiating works. You don't like it because of the officiating. I complain about targeting every single week in college football. I think the rule is bad. You pick the sport, we generally complain about the officiating. Well, this is a very interesting story. So Tim Kirchin was on PTI yesterday, and they asked him about the possibility of robot umpires. Listen to what Tim Kirchin said.
Well, the ones that I've talked to and others in the game feel like the players don't want the responsibility and the accountability of being in charge of a challenge on a ball or a strike, because they worry, do I know the strike zone well enough in order to be in charge of a challenge? And what if I challenge in the second inning and we lose a challenge? I had a major league manager tell me this year that in spring training, he thought the overriding point was that most players realized the umpires are better than they think. Meaning a hitter goes, there's no way that's a strike. And then they run the replay and it is a strike. That's my feeling, that a lot of the players look at it and not sure they're confident enough in their understanding of the strike zone to therefore be in charge of a challenge system. They want somebody else to do it for them, but the manager can't do that, and the manager shouldn't have to do that.
I looked this up today because I was genuinely curious. There was a study performed by Boston University where they looked at every pitch in a Major League Baseball game from 2008 to 2018. Now, I ask you this question, Rob. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I just want what your guess is. What percentage of balls and strikes do you think that the umpires get correct?
I don't think you're asking me if it's a low number. So I'm going to say
this was over a 10-year sample. From 2008 to 2018, they went back and they watched every pitch in a Major League Baseball game. What percentage do you think that umpires are right?
I'm going to say 85.
94% of the time.
Woo!
94%. Now, some of them are just very obvious. They're obvious balls, they're obvious strikes. So I'm not going to make it seem like they get 94%. I firmly believe that we are chasing, as fans, a measure of perfection in the officiating that will never, ever be achieved. 94% is a pretty high number. Yes, they miss calls. No one is arguing that. They miss calls. They get things wrong. This has been my stance from the beginning. When instant replay was first implemented, it was to change obvious mistakes, and you needed conclusive evidence to overturn it. We all watch sports. That's not how it works anymore. They change subjective calls all of the time. Sometimes a call is a pure 50-50. I know we want it to be very nice and neat in this black and white box where it's obvious this thing happened or this thing happened. We watch sports. Sometimes something can happen. It's a bang-bang 50-50. And you're either going to agree with the call or disagree with the call. But I don't think that means that we need robot umpires to step in and take over. I think that for the most part, the sports that we watch are well officiated. My issue has just always been the consistency, especially when it comes to helmet and targeting. Wait, you told me that in this game, this was helmet to helmet, and this one it wasn't. It was targeting here, but it wasn't targeting there. That inconsistency frustrates me. Wait, why was this roughing the passer, but this wasn't roughing the passer? Call it fair, call it evenly across the board. Now, I know that we'll never get to that point where every call is going to be consistent, but I do think we have to acknowledge the same way that we know we are watching the best basketball players, the best baseball players, the best football players. We know that we are watching the best. We're also watching the best umpires. We're also watching the best officials. You don't get to this level without being really, really good at calling these things, being really good at flow of the game, pace, and tempo. And you guys know my stance on instant replay. We would be better off, we'd be happier watching these games if they simply got rid of it. That yes, they would get things wrong. They get things wrong now. How many times have we been watching something and an obvious mistake was made? We're like, well, you can't challenge that. Well, then what's the point of instant replay? Why do we have instant replay if we just all saw something, it was wrong? You're telling me we can't challenge that, but this other thing we now spent 4 minutes on, and I have no clue whether it was right or wrong. We all have a pretty good understanding of the NFL. Like, my understanding is not much different than yours. I just have more time to read about it than you do. I watch the same games that you watch. I have access to the same film that you do on NFL.com. We have the same information. How many times have you been sitting on the couch with your friend who is the same position as you? He thinks one's a catch. You don't think it's a catch, or vice versa. That happens. That's sports. The main thing that I want is I want these things I want them expedited. I want it done a lot faster. I also think that we should have accountability. Everybody associated with the games has to answer questions except the officials. J.J. Piccolo has to answer questions. Bobby Witt Jr. has to answer questions. Chris Bubich has. Everybody has to answer questions about their part in the outcome of the game. How we set up a system in which the officials don't? Sometimes the biggest thing that happened in the game is a call by the official. We never hear them explain it. We never get that. No, that's what I would change. I want more transparency. Why can't we see the instant replay? I want to see why they made the call that they made. Hey, you called this in the second quarter. What did you see? Why did you call this? That's what I think we need more than anything. I don't think we need more robot umpires. I also don't think we need to expand instant replay. If anything, I think we need to pull back instant replay. I think the rules have just got so confusing and convoluted. And I think what happens a lot of times when we're watching games is the game's getting good. It's a good flow of the game. And now we got to stop it to watch this one play 50 times in super slow motion. That if you're telling me to look at something in super slow motion, you keep showing it to me over and over, I can convince myself that anything has happened. Say no to robot umps. I don't want anything to do with these robot umpires. All right, coming up on the other side, Rob, I got a toss-up for you. We'll go through it. Keep it right here, so drive.
Hey, it's Lucas Ursig from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. If you're shopping for an engagement ring, we want you to feel like a kid in a candy store. All of our diamonds are in stock, in-store and online, so you get to use your eyes, not your imagination. Come in and look at marquee-shaped diamonds right next to ovals and pears. As your friend and jeweler, you can trust you'll get your dream diamond at an everyday competitive price. We have the widest selection in-store and at shaneco.com, because a friend knows choosing a diamond is personal. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-949-1441. That's 800-949-1441. 800-949-1441.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure where to start? Selling a home can feel overwhelming, especially if you're facing foreclosure, a divorce, an inherited property you don't want, or just need to move quickly. But you don't have to figure it out alone. Rex Buys KC is here to help. As a local home buyer, I understand the Kansas City market inside and out. My family and I live right here, so I know the neighborhoods, the trends, and the challenges homeowners face. That's why I take a consultative approach, helping you explore your options and find the best path forward. We buy houses in any condition, no need for repairs, no agent commissions, and no hidden fees. You'll receive a fair cash offer with a closing timeline that works for you. Whether that's in as little as 7 days or at your own pace, just a simple, hassle-free process designed around your needs. If you're ready to talk through your options, call me today at 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Let's find the right solution for you. Rex Buys KC. Local, fair, and focused on you.
Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City, now open. Dine on mouth-watering appetizers, then feast on one of our 6 American Wagyu burgers, including the Bacon Jam Burger and Blazing Burger. Wash it down with your favorite ice-cold beverage, all while watching the game on one of our 45 TVs. Dine in or carry out. Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City always hits the spot. Brew Brothers and Brew Brothers Express are now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-BETS-OFF.
This week only, go to Peter's Clothiers to get half-off suits by Jack Henry. Choose from many colors and sizes. Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line. This week only, Jack Henry suits are half off. Come in today, only at Peter's Clothiers.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Black Friday and July event from Dell Technologies is here with great offers on trusted technology. You'll also discover huge deals on new AI-ready laptops like the Dell 14 Plus featuring Intel Core Ultra processors starting at $699.99. Save on top accessories, plus enjoy fast, free shipping and other benefits. Upgrade today by visiting Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
DQ presents How to Make Your Summer Take Flight. Just head into DQ for our new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat. Treat your inner hero to an epic mix of sugar cookie dough, sprinkles, and cake batter flavor. Blend it all with legendary DQ soft serve, and it's enough to tempt Superman himself. Fly into DQ for our new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat before it's gone. And don't miss Superman, only in theaters July 11th. DQ, happy tastes good. Only at participating locations.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies to same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowe's.com/lowest price guarantee.
Tonight,
Clear with a chance of showers and thunderstorms, low of 74.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Getting the job done right the first time protects your home, time, and budget. This month, get $500 off a water softener and filtration combo. Schedule at anthonyphce.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Good afternoon. Both directions down south affected 435 west and eastbound at Metcalf. That wreck is in the left inside lanes. Out Kansas side of things, 70 eastbound at 635 northbound, left lane blocked. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
I want to play this for you one more time in case you missed it. Tim Kirchin was on PTI. He says that the players, you know what, they actually think the umpires are a little bit better than we give them credit.
Well, the ones that I've talked to and others in the game feel like the players don't want the responsibility and the accountability of being in charge of a challenge on a ball or a strike, because they worry, do I know the strike zone well enough in order to be in charge of a challenge? And what if I challenge in the second inning and we lose a challenge? I had a major league manager tell me this year that in spring training, he thought the overriding point was that most players realized the umpires are better than they think. Meaning a hitter goes, there's no way that's a strike. And then they run the replay and it is a strike. That's my feeling, that a lot of the players look at it and not sure they're confident enough in their understanding of the strike zone to therefore be in charge of a challenge system. They want somebody else to do it for them, but the manager can't do that, and the manager shouldn't have to do that.
I want to read this text really quickly, and then we'll move on. CDOT, I want you to keep in mind that these leagues now have gambling partners, so judgment calls make it easier to affect the outcome. You and your gambling sponsors are part of the problem, but I bet you're not allowed to say that on the air. I don't know what kind of relationship you guys think I have with FanDuel. One day I just showed up and they were like, hey, read this, and they'll pay you to read. And I was like, all right, cool. Sounds good to me. Sounds easy. I also use FanDuel. Yes, I think that gambling has a lot to do with the backlash of some of this. But what I will say to defend my gambling sponsor a little bit is some of you gamble on sports and then get mad when sports happening. Can't do that. You decided to wager on the outcome of a sporting event. None of us know. None of us know. I mean, it's fun to guess, and hey, man, it feels good when you get things right. But you also know that very rarely does the game go exactly how you think it's going to go. They call it gambling for a reason, not investing. Some of you were putting down these $10 parlays hoping to try to get rich here. You got a $10 parlay that's going to help you get rich. One call ends up not going your way, and now you're mad. That sounds like a you problem to me, not a FanDuel or DraftKings problem. It don't sound like that to me. You can't bet on sports and then be mad when sports happen. Sometimes the judgment call, the 50-50 call, that's just sports. And what I would guess, I don't think you guys want robot umps. I really don't think you want it. Because I think part of baseball is, the same way that you guys were very hesitant to put a clock on it, I think part of baseball is you get that call on the outside. You get that call right there that I would say is a 50-50 call. Rob, in the same way in basketball, a block and a charge. Some of you like that they call charges. I actually don't like that they call charges. I wish they just let you get dunked on more. But a block charge is a 50-50 call. It's based on so many different factors. I would just say that those calls are part of sports. And your team has to overcome them in some capacity. I'm not anti-instant replay. I'm not anti-correction. I am for correcting obvious mistakes. But what we have allowed instant replay and what we've allowed technology to do is to have us watch a basketball game where for 4 minutes we got to determine if a ball went off a guy's fingernail to go out of bounds. That's not what I think instant replay should be. It should be obvious when a guy's foot is on the line. Yeah, that's a two-pointer. Let's go play basketball. Or obvious when the ball hits the backboard first and now it's a goaltend. I'm all for those. That is not what we use instant replay for anymore. In the NFL, it was supposed to be to overturn obvious mistakes. Obvious mistakes. That's not what instant replay has turned out to. That's what I'm upset about. But the fact that humans help decide the outcome of a game, I don't have any problem with that.
I think people have always just disliked the idea that judgment calls affect games, and now gambling is their new boogeyman. For a while, it was the NFL is scripted. That was their boogeyman. Oh, my team lost because
they still say it's scripted, but no, I get your point though.
But you're right. People still say that, but
do.
now they point the blame about the script at gambling. Well, that play had to go that direction because the odd.
100%.
In reality, you're right. Sometimes sports happens. I've been at games. You've been at games. Text line, we've all been at games. You're like, oh, man, if that one call had gone different, the game probably goes different. Whether people were gambling on it or there was a script or not, that just happens in sports. It's not some sort of massive conspiracy, and it's not us not talking about it because we, talk about FanDuel on the show. It's because it's a massive conspiracy and nonsensical to talk about.
Yeah, and it's just always, to me, we don't got to talk about this for the rest of the show, but it's just always like, I don't know. We then don't want them to call fouls at the end of the game. We want them to let it play. And then some people want the game to be called the same way with 30 seconds left as it is with 30 minutes left. We also accept that if you're at home, you get a more advantageous whistle. We also want them to let them play, but we don't want to let them get it too physical. It's like we haven't really determined how we want any sporting event to be played. So we're going to disagree. We're going to argue. We're going to go back and forth. That's part of the fun of what sports are. So I want to play this for you, and we'll kind of talk about the toss-up here in a little bit. This soundbite made Rob angry. I like when Rob comes in with ideas, and there's some topics that Rob is very passionate about. There's some that he's kind of on the fence about. So next week, we're doing MU Day, KU Day, and K-State Day. We've already started recording the KU interviews. I don't know why we haven't talked to anybody with Missouri, nobody with K-State. I'd have been talking to the tailback from the 1950. Rob's going all out for the KU Day. Got no energy for the other 2 days, but that's fine. I like when Rob's excited. Rob came in all fired up to talk about this topic for whatever reason. Davante Adams thinks that LeBron would have been a good football player.
What kind of football player do you think LeBron would have made?
He would have been one of the best receivers, tight ends all time, no question. I don't know if you ever seen him play football.
I saw him play a high school.
Yeah, he can fly too. That's the thing. He's one of the fastest NBA players probably all time. I've never seen somebody cover space on a basketball court. Maybe John Wall, Derrick Rose, something like that. But he's up there with all.
Rob is upset at this. How ridiculous of a comment. Go ahead, Rob. I'll give you the floor. Tell the potential Hall of Fame wide receiver why he's wrong and why he can't scout and evaluate if one of the most athletic human beings that we've ever seen, why he'd be a bad football player. I'd love to hear.
I mean, are you going to trust his judgment? His last two quarterback decisions have been Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers. So I'm just saying, maybe his scouting eye is not great. That's just my read on Davante Adams. I'm not saying LeBron James couldn't play football. He probably would have played college football and maybe would have made the league. He's a freak athlete. I'm not discounting his ability to do freak athlete things. We were saying he would have been an all-time great because we've seen video of him running past insurance salesmen and plumbers in Ohio. I mean,
why everybody got to be a plumber? How many plumbers you think are out here?
Way more than you think. He's catching
gracious.
Jump balls in the end zone at 6'8", 250 in high school over some kid who one day dreams of being a Delta Chi. Come on, what are we doing? There are really good tight ends in college football who don't sniff success in the NFL. And we think because we've seen video of LeBron stiff-arming a 15-year-old who has no future in sports that he's going to be an all-time great. Is he maybe a good football player? I don't know. All-time great? We're going to say that if LeBron has changed career paths, me and you will be arguing, is it Kelsey, Gronk, or LeBron? Come on, stop this. He can be good, but not all-time great. It's just nonsense.
I think the argument would be, this is just what I'm guessing, I'm guessing the argument is we've seen a decent number of athletes who were good basketball players, how those skill sets have been able to translate. Antonio Gates is one of those people. Antonio Gates played college basketball, was super athletic, very athletic. He then decided, you know what? I'm not good enough to play in the NBA. I think I'll play football. Think about how many times we've heard this story. Basketball player, really big, and just said, well, I'm going to go try. And they actually were kind of decent at it. I'm not saying that football is an easy thing to do. It's obviously not easy. But I'm guessing if you're 6'6", 225 pounds, and super athletic, I'm guessing that there is some saving you where you can do something on a football field. You can block or catch or run a route, or we can figure out something for you to be able to do. I think that's what he's arguing. I think that's what he's saying. Hey, I saw how athletic this guy was for a 15, 20-year stretch. He's been insane. And at that level where he was playing high school football, I think it would have continued to translate. That's what he's saying. Obviously, we'll never know. I think LeBron made the right decision. He might be the greatest basketball player of all time. But I don't think it's crazy to think LeBron would have been great at football. Now, would he have been an all-pro tight end? I don't know about that, but he certainly could have been a good football player for sure.
I think he could have been a really good college player who he could have been Noah Gray. Like, Noah Gray's probably one of the best 25 Duke football players in the history of the program. That's an indictment on the program. That's neither here nor there. Like, LeBron had gone to Ohio State and played football. I'm sure he would have been good. But to say he would have been all-time great is where Devontae Adams losing me. Also, I know the text sounds like, Jimmy Graham, Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, these guys that played basketball were great tight ends. Jody Fortson played basketball, and he was a scrub. He was a nothing in the league. So just because you're good at basketball does not mean it automatically translates to being, and I'm quoting here, an all-time great. That's where Devontae Adams loses me.
You got that off your chest? Mm-hmm. I know. I mean, I remember you came in here and you were mad about it.
Who do you think would have,
you still got more. It's fine. You got more. I'm here with you. I'm just saying. I'm standing here with you.
There have been great college football tight ends who don't do anything. Kyle Pitts comes to mind. He was dominating in Florida. Can't do nothing in Atlanta.
Oh, that's true.
But LeBron, who, hey, at St. Vincent St. Mary's, some kid who one day dreams of being on a highlight package with LeBron James is going to prove to me that he's just basically Antonio Gates if he had changed sports. No.
I will tell you this, though. There's some man out there right now that has been telling that I played against LeBron in high school story. Been telling it for 20 years. Been telling it for 20 years. You sitting there looking at him like, Danny, bro, you've told me this story before. Please stop telling me this story. I've heard it before. Yeah, I know. He dunked on you.
Do you know who has that story? Remember that little short kid who Zion just humiliated on that from South Carolina? On that kid is somewhere in South Carolina telling all his friends, I don't know if you've seen me on YouTube, but Zion did some terrible things to me on the court.
Or I would assume I would actually like the story. Another E60 idea. You remember LeBron's junior year, they didn't win the state championship. Where are those kids at now? I wanted you to hear the story about the time we beat LeBron when he was the greatest high school basketball player of all time. We have the documentary of what happened to the other kids from Friday Night Lights. Remember, the kids lose from Friday Night Lights. What happened to the team that won? We should get that story. What happened to that LeBron James team? That'd be a great story to tell. All right, I want to ask you this toss-up question. Text line, you can participate as well, 913-586-7965 if your heart desires. Which of these veteran quarterbacks do you think has the most pressure on them heading into the season? Do you think it's Jared Goff, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Joe Burrow? Which of them do you think has the most pressure? I think it's Lamar for this reason. I think the perception around Lamar is that he doesn't play well in the postseason. Even though he's actually played pretty well the last two postseasons, he played good enough in the Buffalo Bills game. Now, yes, they lost. He threw an interception early, and they're a bad interception. I thought he played pretty well in that game. He took him down the field. He got him in a position to score. He threw a good pass on the two-point conversion, and Mark Andrews just dropped it. Now, this part is sports, and I'm not making excuses for Lamar Jackson. Man, he's come really close the last 2 years. So the Mark Andrews dropped two-point conversion. The game is then tied. Who knows how it ends? A couple of years ago in the AFC Championship game. Now, maybe the Chiefs still win the game. But Zay Flowers is about to score a touchdown. He's about to score. He then fumbles. Possession then changes. You took points off the board for the home team. They end up losing a close game, and that's it. Now, again, that's how sports happens. Not making excuses for Lamar Jackson. It's not like he's super far off, but I think if you ask most fans, if you ask 100 fans, hey, do you think Lamar's a good postseason quarterback? I think 95 of them tell you no. 95 tell you he can't get it done. He's not good in January. I don't think that's the feeling for any of those other three quarterbacks. Certainly not the feeling for Burrow. Allen's been pretty good in the postseason, and Jared Goff has been fine. He's also taken a team to the Super Bowl. So if you're asking me who has the most pressure of anybody on them from this upcoming season, I think it's Lamar. I think he needs to play well and either get to and or win a Super Bowl.
So I'm going to echo a lot of your sentiments because I think these are 1A and 1B. I think there's two correct answers. I'm going to say it's Josh Allen, but it's for all the things you said, just transfer the name Baltimore Ravens to Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen has been in the AFC title game twice. He's had a chance to beat Patrick Mahomes at home. He's been an MVP. He's been on the doorstep but can't break through to get past Mahomes. And that is the overarching story of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson's career. Really good in the regular season and can't quite get past Mahomes in the postseason. I think one of them, and I feel like we do this segment every year, and every year one of them falls short to Mahomes. That's just the way it's been working. But until one of them get over that Mahomes hump and get into the Super Bowl, they don't even have to win it. Get into the Super Bowl, they are going to be the one carrying the most pressure. Joe Burrow has pressure, don't get me wrong, but Joe Burrow has already conquered that Mahomes mountain. I still think that because of that, he gets a level of, oh, we know he can. Jared Goff, I think, is feeling a little bit of the pressure, but the NFC is so wide open that can I see Detroit in the Super Bowl? Yeah. Do I think they will be? No. But I think every year until a quarterback not named Patrick Mahomes is representing the AFC and the Super Bowl, Lamar and Josh Allen will carry the most pressure into the ensuing season.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I do think it's a little bit different. Like someone says, whoa, CDOT, Josh Allen has the same pressure. I think the pressure is a little bit different. I think it's a little bit different. I think for this reason, there is no quarterback in the NFL who has been patted on the back more for their team losing than Josh Allen.
I think that's starting to stop, though. I think is stopping is a better way to say that.
I don't disagree with you, but I'm saying is that almost beating Patrick Mahomes in the AFC divisional round, that held Josh Allen for 3 years. I mean, what can you do in this? Yeah, that held them for that. Lamar does not get that. Lamar, even with last year, people are saying Lamar can't win the big games. Mark Andrews dropped the 2-point conversion right there. Lamar took them down the field against Buffalo. They then call the right play. Mark Andrews wide open. We're going to overtime. That's the big-time drive of Lamar Jackson's NFL career. That is his defining, achieving moment. His future Baltimore Ravens Hall of Fame tight end drops the ball. We don't put our arms around Lamar the way we did it with the way we did with Josh Allen after losing that game at Arrowhead. I'm saying we don't do that nearly as much. So yeah, I think the pressure on both of them is drastically different between Lamar and Josh Allen. I think Lamar has more pressure on him going into it. I agree with you. For the most part, they are both in the same boat. Mahomes has broken through. He's had all the success in the world. You guys have had all the individual success in the world. Both of them have done just about everything individually that you can do as an NFL player except win the championship.
I also think we hold, and maybe I'm just, justifying what you're saying about tapping Josh Allen on the head, but holding Lamar to a higher standard. I think there's a part of the age thing too. Josh Allen is younger than, was a draft class after Patrick Mahomes. So even though they're in the same era, I think there's a level of, by the time he took over, Mahomes was already a thing, so it's harder. Lamar Jackson was in the NFL, and I believe he was in the playoffs before Mahomes was a starter. Or maybe it was that weird Flacco half-year, Lamar year. But I wonder if the fact that Lamar was the first one through changes how we view each three of them. Because it is Mahomes' era, but I think there's different levels to that conversation.
Yeah, and I'm with you. And I would say that's just another one of those things that just kind of perception becomes reality. Lamar Jackson is younger than Josh Allen.
I guess draft class, yeah.
But I'm sure. I mean, they're both kind of the same here. Josh Allen will be 30 years old next year. So he's 29 right now. He'll be 30 years old next year. Lamar will be 29 in January, so he's a little bit behind him. Not a drastic difference. Like, both of these guys, for the most part, they don't have a whole lot of prime left, not with the way that both of them play. I've thought this from the very beginning. Like, Josh Allen has a lot of Cam Newton energy. Cam Newton was never going to be a great player at 35 years old, not with that play style, not with being a short yardage, bigger running back. Josh Allen probably has 3 great seasons left. Lamar probably has 3 great seasons left. Man, you don't get 10 chances to win a championship, not if you're those kinds of players. And if now you're trying to make Lamar Jackson a true pocket passer or Josh Allen, and you're taking away some of the thing that makes them elite high-end players, I think you are losing what makes them special. So I just don't think that Buffalo has another decade of chances. Mahomes can probably play until he's 40. His game will change. He maybe won't take off the way that he does right now, but Mahomes is a good enough pocket passer. Man, part of Josh Allen's game is being a short yardage runner for them. Lamar, we've never seen a quarterback like Lamar Jackson play at 35 years old, not with his style, not with everything that he does. So how they age is going to be a big talking point here coming up in the next 2 to 3 seasons or so. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get to the top stories of the day in Kansas City. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
For the first time in a long time, I'm willing to dream that this can be a special season for the Missouri Tigers.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And we cut to size. Because just like taxes and BS, we think metal is better when cut. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. Find a store or shop online at metalsupermarkets.com.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips, so we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help this patient.
Hi, my name is John, and I've been on ED and testosterone treatment at Heartland Men's Health for the past 15 months. I could tell, I was starting to go downhill, and my wife kept telling me, well, you need to go to a clinic that'll specialize in that. And that's what eventually led me into the men's clinic here. Treatment, in my opinion, is a miracle. I was able to perform to an elevated position that, quite honestly, I never thought I'd see again. For my fellow men out there, if you're feeling that you're not up to par, I encourage you, contact Heartland Men's Health and you will see a dramatic difference.
Thank you. It's true. Your initial appointment includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hi, this is Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
Holy cow, you've done it again.
We've done it again, Toby. We won the President's Award again this year. This is the 22nd time we've been awarded this awesome honor from Ford Motor Company.
But what is the President's Award?
The President's Award is the top award Ford Motor Company gives its dealers for excellence in customer satisfaction in both sales and service and their sales penetration numbers. So we are super honored to have received this award for the 22nd time.
It covers the whole works at Lewisburg Ford.
Absolutely, and it's a testament to the awesome people we have working at Lewisburg Ford and helping our customers, and it really shows with this award because it's only a few dealers that get it, and we've done it 22 times.
I guarantee you this is the best place to buy a Ford car or truck truck in the Midwest.
Absolutely. You couple that President's Award lineage with our no-hassle Toby Tobin pricing, it does not get any better than that.
What is your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Or LewisburgFord.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Get a $15 prepaid MasterCard after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And we cut to size. Because just like taxes and BS, we think metal is better when cut. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. Find a store or shop online at metalsupermarkets.com.
Get a $15 prepaid MasterCard after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Blue Spring still working. 70 westbound just past Woods Chapel Road. The right lane is blocked. Past Overland Park, 435 westbound at K10 westbound. That ramp, right lane blocked. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
I have a couple random thoughts I'd like to share with you guys. First random thought I'd like to share with you guys is I miss Last Chance U. I didn't know I needed Last Chance U until we got Last Chance U. For those of you that remember the Netflix show, oh my goodness, it was so good. You would take this random trip to this town in Mississippi that you had never heard of before and have no interest in going. And you were fully invested in the lives of these kids that you had no clue. You learned about their home life. You met their parents. You followed the season. I mean, you could have just Googled it. You could have just got all the answers just right there off Google. Hey, this is how their season ended. You couldn't do that. You even met their financial person, their tutors. It was great. Oh, my goodness. I miss Last Chance U. Remember when they tried to, they kept doing it for football? Then the coach was too nice. I know it sounds bad. I don't want the coach to be nice to the players. That's just not a good television show. I want the coach to be like, I don't think I'd play for that guy. Like the last season, the guy, he was really trying to help him. That's not what I wanted the show to be. I wanted the players to actually hate the coach. That's when it was interesting.
Also the basketball one stunk.
I didn't mind the basketball one. It just didn't have the same magic.
Maybe it's this is maybe the sports nerd in me showing. I just know that JUCO basketball is not really a thing. It's different in JUCO football. There's a pathway to go to a high Division I. People recruit JUCO football players at a high level. When was the last time you heard of a JUCO basketball player getting a lot of buzz to go to Auburn or Kansas? It's not the same.
It's just not really a thing. No, you're right. And that's a big part of it. Yeah, no, I mean, a couple of guys were on Last Chance U have gone on to the NFL and actually had decent careers. And I guess to your point, though, it's a thing to be at a D1 as a football player. You go down to JUCO for a year and then you come back. It's not really a basketball thing. Like, whenever you find out where a guy is, he ain't at Independence Community College. No, that's not where he is. But no, I did miss it. Someone said Jason Brown made that Indy season so much fun. No, 100%. That's what I'm saying. Last Chance U was good when the coaches and the players didn't really get along with each other. That's when it was good. When they were getting along, I don't want to watch this show.
I mean, also when the coaches and other coach hate each other, like when it was the people in scuba, the OC and head coach didn't get along. And then Jason Brown hated that. What was it? Fort Scott? He hated that
Garden
coach.
City. That's what it was. Garden City.
He hated that guy.
I'm being serious. That's one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen in my life. That episode where they didn't do any interviews and they just followed the two teams for the game, it's one of the best. You don't even got to watch the show. Like, don't even have to watch it. Just watch the one episode against Garden City. It is incredibly well done. I guess second thought that I had is, what do you think happened to Malik Henry? Remember him, the quarterback? I think he was at Florida State, and then he ended up in JUCO, and then I think he went to Nevada for a little bit.
He definitely went to Nevada for a little bit.
I wonder what he's up to. I'd love to catch up with him today.
I think I was watching a Where Are They Now video. I think he plays in arena football now.
We got arena football?
I mean,
I'm not even trying to be funny. We got arena football?
That's right. That's my point. That's where I think he is. I think he's playing a league that you didn't know existed 4 seconds ago.
I mean, I remember arena football was a thing back in the 90s, 2000s. I didn't know that they still had arena football right now. He played for the Iowa Barnstormers. He trying to be Kurt Warner?
I don't think those teams exist. I think it's even lesser quality.
Malik Henry needs to go on Love Island. That's what he needs to do. He needs to go on Love Island. That's what I would suggest. The other thing, I was randomly thinking this. So, like, I don't have any information. I randomly was thinking this. Can you imagine if I told you when the Chiefs traded for Kadarius Toney, he was 23 years old. Can you imagine if I told you he'd be out of the league by 25? Can you imagine that? You remember the hype? I'm not even saying you guys are wrong to feel that way about Kadarius Toney. Man, when they played that game against, it was Jacksonville. That's what it was. It was against Jacksonville. That was the best game he had with the Chiefs. If I told you, hey, he's only got like 15 more games left in the NFL, you would have told me that I was crazy. You honestly would have told me that I was crazy. And no, Kadarius Toney, out of the league. How many yards you think Kadarius Toney had in Kansas City?
Oh, you say no one would have guessed it. I remember people thought I was a moron thinking that was a bad trade, and yet we're not here to pat ourselves on the back. But
I still don't think. I don't think it was a bad trade.
Do not tell me about the punt return. I do not want to hear about the one punt return. No, I don't think it was
that. I just think they had a free third-round pick and they just took a swing
and they threw it away. They threw it away.
I don't know if they threw it away. I don't think they threw it away. I don't think they threw it away. And you and I agree on the. Don't try to now paint it like I'm. I know. You and I are the only two people that feel that way about the punt return, and I'm with you. But I still don't think they made the wrong decision with Kadarius Toney. They had an extra third-round pick. They took a swing when they needed to. And, I mean, he helped them a bit in special teams. He had 340 yards for the Chiefs.
I just think, and I will always say this.
Is that not crazy?
It's so small.
Just think about the amount of time we spent talking about Kadarius Toney. Imagine, like, what you thought he could be. He had 340 yards. He had 760 yards in 4 years in the NFL. Hell, half of those came on 2 games in his NFL career.
I mean,
crazy.
We're going to always disagree on this, and that's fine. I think you could have found a play. You could find a player in the third round to give you 300 career yards. You could. I mean, you can absolutely. What is Sky Moore giving you in 3 years? Probably 280. It's the exact same, except for you get a 4th year of value out of him. Like you can find a nothing burger in the third round, which is what Kadarius Toney was. So I view it as a bad trade because they threw a third round pick away for. You said 300 yards? That's not good. It's not good.
Someone on the text line says Nate Taylor is leaving. I will read you. This actually just happened. He released a quick announcement. Quote, today is my last day with The Athletic. The past 7 years as the company's first Chiefs beat writer have been the most fulfilling part of my career. Being part of The Athletic's rise and having my name and work synonymous with the company was truly special. An enormous thank you to everyone who has followed my coverage for the Chiefs. My belief is that journalists often don't get the opportunity to say thank you enough to the people they aim to inform. I am incredibly grateful that subscribers have respected, valued, and appreciated the service I have provided, especially then goes on to thank his family and all these other people. They obviously deserve to be thanked, but I don't think you want me to read the entire thing. I just will say it's not really my announcement to make. Nate's not going very far. Maybe that's the best way to put it. So if you're worried about where Nate is going, Nate is not going very far. Just because he won't be with the Athletic doesn't mean that he still won't be covering the Chiefs. So you think there's a second announcement tweet coming one day? I think there's a second announcement tweet coming very quickly that he is just taking another job doing virtually the same thing, is what I guess. I've not talked to Nate. I'm just simply putting 2 and 2 together. One job is open. He is now leaving that job. Maybe, just maybe, there's some overlap. Maybe, just possibly. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get to the top stories. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, your home for the best food takes in KC.
Regular old American nachos. I don't need jalapenos with mine, just chips, cheese.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
South of downtown, 35 northbound before West Penway, the left lane is blocked. And you've got 435 southbound before Truman Road, right lane blocked. 435 southbound past 23rd, right lane blocked. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center and Val 96.5 The Fan.
Hi, I'm Trisha, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where we're all about you, your style, your budget, your dream engagement ring. Are you looking for a style that's classic, modern, vintage, or something in between? Not sure? At Shane Company, we're here to help. We have so much style under one roof because a friend knows you like options. Drop by or visit us at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-334-2266. That's 800-334-2266.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Ready for a summer getaway? Start it off right with Park & Go, KC's premier airport parking destination. Open 24/7 with all covered spots to beat the summer heat. Reserve your spot now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this. Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Say hello to Wendy's new 2-for-4 Biggie Bundle. Choose from the JBC made with fresh, never frozen beef, crispy chicken sandwich, 6-piece nugs, or small soft drink. Any two for just $4. It's like the reunion special you've been waiting for, but the only drama is watching you try to pick just 2. For a deal as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's. Request 2 for $4 Biggie Bundles to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S. Alaska.
Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City, now open. Dine on mouth-watering appetizers, then feast on one of our 6 American Wagyu burgers, including the Bacon Jam Burger and Blazing Burger. Wash it down with your favorite ice-cold beverage, all while watching the game on one of our 45 TVs. Dine in or carry out. Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City always hits the spot. Brew Brothers and Brew Brothers Express are now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-BETS-OFF.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years, and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together. and fit like a jigsaw puzzle. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription, and I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really works so good. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
Gear up, race fans! Sioux Cup IndyCar Race Weekend is roaring into Iowa Speedway July 11th to the 13th, featuring the only NTT IndyCar Series doubleheader weekend on the 2025 schedule. Sioux Cup IndyCar Race Weekend has become one of the most anticipated and action-packed events in racing. Tickets are going fast. Score yours today and get ready to feel the rush at the fastest short track on the planet. Visit IndyCar@Iowa.com for tickets. Sioux Cup IndyCar Race Weekend at Iowa Speedway, the ultimate summer racing event.
Hey friends, it's noisy out there. With information coming at us all day, every day, it's hard to know what to trust, and the world of wealth management is no exception. That's why UMB Private Wealth Management helps you tune out the noise and tune into what matters most. They'll create a financial plan based on your unique goals, so it's your voice that comes through loud and clear. Get financial clarity. Go to umb.com/private wealth to schedule an appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth.
Royals Coverage, sponsored by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Who is the area's only dealer for Fronius professional welding equipment? Metal by the Foot, located in KC and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
You're listening to the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your new home for Chiefs football. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive. My name is Carrington Harrison. Happy to be here. Rob is here as well. We are taking you up to 5:30 when we hand things off to the Royals. I don't mind handing things off to the Royals when they do stuff like this.
1-1 pitch. Caglione hits a drive out into the gap in right center field. That's in the alley and gone. Caglione's first home run at Kauffman Stadium. Kind of a sinking line drive. And it went out of the shadows around home plate and over the wall and brightly lit by the sun right center field. So now Caglione has homered at Kauffman Stadium, and he has a total of 3 home runs and puts the Royals up 1-0 here in the second inning.
No doubt Jack Caglione could feel like he could fly right now.
Let's take a closer look at the Royals' schedule, because I think this is very, very important. I really do. I think this is important. The Royals are 45-48. The Royals have been playing much better baseball of late. They split the 4-game set against Seattle. No shame there. Seattle's a playoff team. They went on the road and they won the series against Arizona. They are now back home, and they're doing what they should do against a bottom 5 team in baseball, and they're beating up on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now today, their best pitcher is on the mound. They should win today. They should win today. You sweep this series against Pittsburgh, you're 2 games under 500. Now, you play one of the better teams in baseball coming up this weekend in the New York Mets. And we all know that the Royals have struggled a little bit when they've gone up against those teams. But you know what? I am here to be positive. If the Royals can find a way to win this series and they're, 1 game under 500 heading into the All-Star break, you get a couple of days off. You get an opportunity to reset your rotation, give guys a little bit of time off. That's not a bad situation for the Royals. I mean, it's not ideal. It's not great. You still got a lot of work to do, but you can still play this thing out, and let's see what the next 2 weeks look like. You still got time for the trade deadline. The trade deadline is 3 weeks away. So let's not count next week because you got the All-Star break coming up. So you got 2 more weeks of games before you ultimately need to make a decision about what you're going to do with Seth Lugo. So Again, the Royals are not in an ideal spot. They are playing from behind. They are eliminated essentially in the American League Central conversation, and we are looking at the wild card. I would say step one, if you're the Royals, get back to 500. You ain't making the playoffs. You're not getting the one of the wild card spots under 500. Get back to 500. And if you get back to 500, that would put you ahead of Texas right now, who is 45 and 47, and put you in that conversation with Boston and Seattle. That's all you need to focus on if you're the Royals. Let's take it one step at a time. So that's where I am with the Royals. Let's be a little bit positive, a little bit optimistic. I mean, I still got my questions about the Royals. I still don't think they can score. I still don't think they're making the postseason. But let's just see how the next 10 to 14 days go for the Royals. Can they win the series against the Mets? Can they go into the All-Star break with a little bit of momentum playing? I mean, if they win, if they sweep this series against Pittsburgh and they win the series against the Mets, coming off winning the series against Arizona, it will be the second best stretch of baseball that they've played this season, besides when they got pretty hot in May.
Let me ask you a question. And maybe this is, maybe I'm hating here, and that is what it is. Or maybe I'm misreading fan sentiment on the Royals. Let's say they finish off this series. They win tonight. They absolutely should win tonight. They beat the Pirates. Let's say they then take the series or even sweep the Mets over the weekend and are heading into the All-Star break week on Monday, July 14th, and they are an over 500 ball club. Do you think fans will be all in or be like, yes, another run is coming, we think this is a playoff team? Or do you think when they get back from the All-Star break and the Chiefs have headed to St. Joe, if the city will kind of put them to the side for a little bit, hey, you're 500 and that's nice, tap them on the head, for the analogy you use, it's time for us to worry about our main thing, which is Chiefs football? Or do you think a over 500 or at 500 baseball team in the middle of July will continue to bring attention and attract eyeballs the minute the Chiefs start practicing up in St. Joe?
I think that baseball fans, just like sports fans in general, are pretty resilient. Let's say the best case scenario happens. The Royals win today. They win the series against the Mets. I do not think it's realistic that the Royals are going to sweep the Mets. I'm here to be optimistic. I'm not that optimistic. They go on the road and they play Miami. Not that good. They play the Cubs. Now, the Cubs are very good. If you're telling me that the Royals come back and they got a weekend set against Cleveland, Flow Riders out there, you got Atlanta coming in for a 6-game set. If the Royals are, let's say they're 1 game above 500 and they got 6 games at home, hey, if you have a good homestand, you're a game and a half back of the wild card picture. So I do think now what's going to be interesting is what's going to be the sentiment with fans on what they should do if that happens. Let's say the best case scenario happens. Let's say that on July 21st, let's pick a date, 2 weeks, 10 days from now. Let's say the Royals are 1 game over 500 and they're 3 games out of the wild card picture. How do fans feel like they should treat Seth Lugo? What do fans think that they should do? I don't know if we have the answer to that. We got to see how time plays itself out, but it certainly will be very interesting, and it'll be one of the biggest Royals debates we've had in quite some time. Hey, the Royals are playing their best baseball that they have in quite some time. They're only 3 games back. Are you now going to try to go for it with Seth Lugo and maybe go make a move to pick up a bat? And with your rotation, with your staff, Cole Reagans is eligible to come off the IL in 30 days. Maybe he's back. Maybe he's healthy. Everything is good. It will be very much split amongst the fan base on whether they should trade Lugo and keep him, on whether the Royals are really out of it or not. And I can't really think of too many times, at least not with that team, that we've had that conversation.
I think the only time, I don't remember the year, it may have been 17, it may have been 16, correct me if I'm wrong. Remember the year Dayton traded for all those Padres players? Brandon Maurer, Ryan Buchter, they brought Melky Cabrera back. I think it was 2017. And they traded a bunch of guys to bring in, I just remember, Padres relievers. They brought Padres relievers in, and it eventually blew up in their face. That was 2017 because Kane got hurt, and it did not work out. That's probably the only time in our lifetime there's been a real conversation about buy or sell at the deadline. And because the third wild card, I think even if the Royals just tread water from now into the deadline, that is going to be the biggest conversation in town, which is both great and I'm curious how it shakes out because that'll be a week before the Chiefs' first preseason game. The deadline will be like, will the city be clamoring for, hey, let's talk preseason football and left tackle, or will the city be clamoring for what do we do with Seth Lugo? But I think that is the biggest story in July.
I think it's going to be a combination of both. I mean, the only thing interesting with the Chiefs in St. Joe is who's their starting left tackle. There's no other position battle. We know everybody on the team. The Chiefs are a Super Bowl team. So I just think some of the excitement for training camp is football is back, which is obviously a great thing. But I think this year there's only really one question. Who's the starting left tackle for the team? And is Rashee Rice going to be suspended? I'll disagree with you a little bit here. I think we're getting past the point of watching the Royals tread water. At some point, you got to start swimming. Right now, they're swimming. You won a series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. You could potentially sweep a series against Pittsburgh. You got to start. You're under 500. The time to just if you're going to make the playoffs, you got to be an 86-win team probably. You got to be an over 500 team. You're not making the playoffs with 83 wins. No, you're not making the playoffs then. So at some point, you got to start swimming. If this team can go on a little bit of a run and win 8 of 11 and put yourself back in that conversation, then I think you'll see some of the excitement. I don't think we've had too many important August baseball games in Kansas City. Like, not a whole lot of them. We've had a handful of them, but we haven't had a whole lot of, hey, this series in August really means something. The Royals are 4 games back, and they're playing the team that's directly ahead of them. They have to win this series. I will be very intrigued to see how people kind of respond to that if that ends up being the case with the Kansas City Royals. So, Rob, let's get to the hits. We'll make our first hit what Mark Schlereth had to say on Breakfast Ball.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Well, Carrington's Always Hits are brought to you by Baker University. Your graduates to earn higher salaries and land jobs faster than any university. Apply today at bakeru.edu.
All right, earlier today, Mark Schlereth was on Breakfast Ball. Listen to what he had to say about the Chiefs.
I will say this, though. I think for the first time, and I'm a Bronco fan. You know,
of course you are.
The Denver in my blood. I think for the first time in a long time, I do a radio show in Denver. People feel like there was a time.
Like there's blood in the water?
Yeah, there was a time that Patrick Mahomes was the boogeyman, right? Like,
sure.
There's nothing we can do. But there feels like there's this league-wide sense that this is the first time in Kansas City, in his tenure at Kansas City, that they're vulnerable. Like that somebody else could
that's off a 15-win season.
Right, win this division. And we all picked it, I think, yesterday, right? I think you said the Chargers, I said the Chargers.
That wasn't that they would. It's like who's most likely.
Most likely, but before there was no most likely.
Right.
Kansas City's winning. It's most likely to come in second. Was the conversation we're having.
One thing I think the NFL could have very, very mistaken when it comes to the Chiefs is just because it worked for the Eagles doesn't mean it's going to work for you. You don't have the Eagles' infrastructure. You don't have their quarterback. You don't have their running back. You don't have their offensive line. You don't have their wide receivers, their tight end, that defense, the pass rush, the secondary. The Eagles, they are better than you at just about everything. So what the Eagles could do to Kansas City, you can't do. I've seen a lot of Chiefs and Chargers games. They're not the Eagles. I've seen a lot of Chiefs and Broncos games, Chiefs and Raiders, Chiefs and Bills and Ravens, and you name all of these teams. You are not Philadelphia. So don't let what Philadelphia was able to do with 2 weeks to prepare for Kansas City in an ideal situation in a dome, please don't get it confused and think that's just what you can do. Now, I will say this. I understand if you're mad at what Mark Schlereth had to say, and I understand why you're mad with what Mark Schlereth had to say. I think what he is saying is how other NFL teams and players feel after watching the Chiefs get pummeled in the Super Bowl. They didn't just lose 27-24. They were down 41-6 at the end of the third quarter. They were getting beat down in the Super Bowl. The rest of the league was like, Some people were, see, I told you, this guy was soft, this guy was soft. I mean, you know how it is. When you're standing at the top of the mountain and you get punched in the nose and start to bleed the way the Chiefs do, I mean, people kind of dance around the grave a little bit. So that is certainly something the Chiefs are going to hear this offseason. But we're still talking about a team that won 15 games last year. The Chiefs played in, 19 games last year and won 17 of them, and one of them they didn't try? So, I mean, let's not make it seem like now all of a sudden Kansas City is vulnerable because they had a bad day against the best team in the National Football League. We're still talking about a team that is going to win 12, 13, 14, or more games this upcoming season. Don't just because you saw Philadelphia do something, don't think that automatically means that you will be able to do this. Rob, I know I told you that I wanted to make hit number 2 about the NCAA tournament, and I do want to do that. But you know what? Why don't we call this hit 1A? Because I now have a new favorite player in the NFL. It's Kirk Cousins.
Kirk?
Yep.
Okay, I'm ready for you.
Let's go.
All right. My name is Catherine. I'll be doing
Catherine?
a great clip today.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I go to one place, and that's Great Clips, because I can just go on the app.
How you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
Amazing.
I can see what the wait is. If the wait time is under 15 minutes, I just sign up, and then I can just drive there and walk right in and get right in the chair. This is what I'm looking for.
Okay, so
It's like a 1, and then you fade it up.
Okay, you got it.
That sound good?
Sounds good.
Now I start just holding up a picture. I took a picture from one of the headshots from a Falcons game program, and I just say, "Can you do this?" And that usually helps eliminate any gray area. Everybody needs a little rush in their lives, and I get mine when I go to Great Clips to get my hair cut.
All right, Rob, I have to ask you a question. And I don't know the answer to this. What's the vibe like at a Great Clips?
First off, the insinuation, I just know. Oof. I don't get my hair cut at Great Clips.
I mean, you go to Sport Clips. I mean, they're cousins. Like, they're related to one another. You know what I mean? Like, are you talking to the other patrons? Like, what's the relationship like in one of these places? I don't know. I go to the same barbershop. I go in there. I know the guy. He knows me. He's very flexible to my schedule. Hey, I got to do TV tomorrow on Fox 4. Can you squeeze me in? Oh, yeah, no big deal. Come through after the show. I go in there. We kind of vibe. We listen to music. We talk about life. Other people come in there. You know, it's a community thing. You've seen the movie Barbershop. The reason it's so funny is that's actually how it is. I don't know how it is as a Great Clips. Is that how it is when you go get your hair cut? Is it just banter everywhere? Is it just funny, kiki, ha-ha? I don't know how it works. Because to me, Kirk Cousins is not going for the community aspect of the barbershop. Kirk Cousins is going in there solely for the service. And I'm just coming here to get my hair cut, man. I'm just coming in here. He'll probably show you a picture of his dog. I know Kirk Cousins has pictures of dogs on his phone and can't wait to show them to random strangers. 100%. You see that haircut? Loves to show you his German Shepherd. I just want to know what the vibe is like at one of these places.
This is my guess. I think all the chain, Sport Clip, Great Clip, there's probably another clip I'm forgetting about, Kids Clip, whatever. All the clips. I imagine all the clips have the same experience. You sit down, you do not chit-chat with other patrons. The lady walks up, hey, I'm Sally, I'm cutting, Rob's hair. You walk up, you make small talk with the person because you're hanging out there for half an hour. To sit quietly is odd behavior. You get your hair cut, you pay your tab, and you walk out. That is my guess for all these corporate sport Great Clips outfits. It's more just, they're not trying to do a great job. They're trying to get as many done in a day as possible. So you're not chit-chatting with, oh, I'm sitting here getting my hair cut and Cody's over there hanging out. No, we're not talking. I'm just talking to the person cutting my hair, and it's things like, how is your day?
Someone on the text line says, CDOT, the only talking at Great Clips is kids getting yelled at by their parents. People do talk to the stylist, though. You want to know why the youth are struggling? Because you're not taking them to the proper barbershop. That's why the kids are struggling. That's why the kids lack the social skills, because that's where you're taking them to get the haircuts. When I was a kid, I got dropped off at the grown man barbershop. I wanted to be a part of the conversations about rap and sports. So you had to know what you were talking about when you go in there, or the adults would laugh at you. You had to practice your takes. That's where I started refining my skills. You got to start taking the kids to real barbershops. That's their problem. That's their problem. You handed them the iPad and you got them sitting at Sports Clips. That's why they're so weird today. I do love Kirk Cousins, though. I'm serious. I just I mean, just, hey, man, I look at the app. I see what the wait time is. It's 15 minutes. Great. I just pull up. I'm going to get my hair cut. They're great clips. Don't even know this person. I got to show him a picture. I don't got to do that anymore with my barber. He just knows. I just tell him. We got that kind of rapport. We got that kind of two-man game going on. It's a two-man game.
Kirk Cousins needs to up his game, though. He needs to go to the next level. There's like the scissors and scotch. There's like the they all have cutesy names. It's like a bar that you also get your hair cut at. That's where he needs to elevate his game.
They don't have this in my America. They don't have this at all.
They don't have
what is this called?
Scissors and scotch. You walk in, you get you check in, and you go buy yourself a cocktail.
Clippers and cognac. Well, they got that going. That's all we need. Clippers and cognac.
There's a bunch of the alliteration ones.
Clippers, cognac, and cigars. I don't even drink cognac. I want to go.
There's another one similar to that. I forget the name of, but you go, you have a cocktail, you hang out, you get your cut, and then you leave. It's an incredible experience.
I'm telling you right now, if you called a person that cuts your hair a stylist, that's not a place for me. I'm keeping it a buck.
You know what? That's a two Americas.
Yeah,
people that cut my hair are stylists.
Yeah, I don't want to go anywhere where there's a stylist.
I think that's a two Americas. Stylist is just the way it works.
We should do a bit one day where I go to your barbershop and then you go to mine, and let's just see what happens.
I think I would fit in better at yours, because I can talk sports. I can chit chat.
I mean, I can just sit there on my phone.
That's all I got to do. Thank you. Hudson Hawk is the other one. Thank you. Text line.
Hudson Hawk.
Yeah.
I didn't know all of these. I didn't know. Someone said, how do you explain your current haircut? I don't know. It kind of depends. Sometimes I say even all around and he just knows. Sometimes I'd be like, oh, just give me a taper on the side. Or now, honestly, if it depends on what I'm about to do, I just sit, I'm like, hey, just clean me up. Like, he knows clean me up doesn't mean a full haircut, but he knows like clean me up is like make me look presentable. I got something to do. That's what clean me up usually means. Like, oh, I got you. I'm just saying. I just didn't know all these things. Had absolutely no clue. I've learned so much over the last little bit of time. I really have. I've learned so much. 913-586-7965. Someone said, C-Dot, you're annoying. I learned a lot. I thought this was a very productive segment. I had never heard of Hudson's Hawk, or what was that place you told me about?
Scissors and Scotch.
I had no clue. Someone said there's a Beards and Brews in Blue Springs.
I've
never heard of that before.
The next wave of innovation in the world is adding alcohol to regular life. Ever been to Hy-Vee? There's a full bar.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to be drinking something while they're cutting my hair. Like, that just doesn't sound...
You finish the cocktail, then you go get your hair cut. It just improves the whole experience.
I mean, I'm not really trying to spend extra time at the barbershop. Like, once the haircut is complete, my time here is complete. I'm not staying to hang around. You do that? People are staying to just hang out?
I mean, there's a timeline to finish the drink. I'm not having 12. It's not a Saturday night. I'll have a cocktail, get my cut, and get out.
Okay. Oh, I got it. Someone said, how much is the haircut? My guy charges me $40.
Yeah, and you don't tip, so it's a flat 40 for you.
Yeah. I mean, I tip sometimes. I tip sometimes.
Is it different on like what if you just got cleaned up?
Me and my barber also got a relationship. So if he hits me up like, hey, can I go to the Royals game? Like, oh yeah, no problem. You're my guy. I got you. So yeah, we got kind of that, the barter system. We got that sometimes. I'm good to give out trade. I'll give you some trade in a heartbeat. Here, you want some? Here, just go. Why don't you take the lady out?
Gent's Place is another one that it's like you serve liquor.
What's the name of this place? Gent's Place.
Yeah.
All these people that do all these food influencer videos, they be going to all these different barbershops. I've never heard of some of these places. I swear to God. I didn't know this. Gent's Place? I didn't know. Someone says at my barbershop, I have my own liquor locker. Hey, I didn't know. I'm serious. I learned so much today about you guys. I genuinely did. Shout out to Great Clips. I had a lot of fun today. Hopefully you guys had a lot of fun today. We'll be back tomorrow. Take care of yourself. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the 965 YouTube channel. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember,